Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Welch's knows some things make zero sense, like why the algorithm knows your music tastes better than you do. But zero sugar and full flavor? We made that make sense with new Welch's Zero Sugar. All that passion fruit or tropical punch goodness and none of the sugar. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in Montville Township, Ohio, an act of kindness is rewarded with an act of horrific murder. This is followed by public grandstanding and somehow even more horrific murder. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Westman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another insane edition of Small Town Murder. I hope you've been enjoying the recent insanity. It's been crazy, and it's going to get crazier because...
Good.
This today, my goodness, very quickly, some house cleaning at the top here. Thank you for your reviews. They help a lot. Whatever platform you're listening on, throw 5 stars on there.
Doing the Lord's work.
Say,
amazing.
That's all. Tell us what your favorite condiment is, and then it doesn't matter. You don't have to say what you really feel. So check that out. Do all of that. Thank you for doing that. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
What's there, James?
Everything, including, and they're for sale right now, tickets to the virtual live show. Hell yeah. May the 5th. Come and see us. We're going to be wherever you are, from your house, your car. You could go sit in a field somewhere, and we'll be there.
I could give a shit. Watch me there.
Doesn't matter. It's going to be so much fun. We have a crazy show planned for you. All the visuals, all the fun of a live show, but you don't have to go anywhere. So there you go. Get your tickets right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Also,
I
tickets.
can't wait.
We can't wait. Also, tickets to all the live shows. We're sold out pretty much for the next couple months. So if you want to see us in the next couple months, the virtual live show is the way to do it. So do that now. Also, new merch up. up. We have a murder birds shirt, all sorts of murder bird and murder animal things going up. So new stuff. Check all that out. A lot of fun stuff there. And Patreon this week is awesome, by the way. Patreon.com/crime and sports. $5 or above, you're going to get access, of course, to everything. You're going to everything. So these episodes that we did are hilarious, and we cannot wait to share them with you. Here we go. Crime and sports, which you'll get access to. We have, remember when Tiger Woods got attacked and had his black eye in a car accident and all that, and his wife had a golf club in her hand? Let's find out why that happened. The secret life of Tiger Woods and all of his dalliances, and what can make a Swedish model freak out to that level? And he kind of earned it, I got to be honest here. He definitely did, and you'll hear all about it. Then for Small Town Murder, an old favorite. About twice a year we do it, and it's always the favorite. The Prisoner Dating Game.
Fantastic.
All violent felon edition, of course. That way there's no good choices, but some are much, much worse than others, obviously. And I'm going to line up 4 bachelors, 4 bachelorettes. Jimmy's going to pick one of each based on nothing but their dating profile pitch. And then he's going to find out what they did. And that's the fun part after he picks them. That is patreon.com/crime and sports. You can do that right now. And you'll get a shout out at the end of the show, of course. Let's do the disclaimer. It's a comedy show, everybody.
It is.
This is a comedy show. It's also very true, unfortunately. Everything we say is true. Nothing is embellished for the sake of whatever. It's all true, and it's gross. So that said, jokes will be made.
Yes.
They'll be made at the right places. That's the thing. There's nothing funny about actual murder. What's funny is the things around the murder. Someone saying, I think I can get away with this. Maybe if I cut this person up into a bunch of pieces, it'll be easier. That's right there. Wrong path, sir. Abort the mission and go somewhere else. So that's what we're talking about. We make fun of that. What we don't do, what we go out of our way not to do, is we don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why, James?
Because we're assholes.
But
we're not scumbags. That's how that works. So if that sounds good to you, like I said, crazy story. If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever, ever, never go together, maybe we're not for you, but maybe give it a shot. We might be. But if we're not, no complaining later. So that said, let's sit back and clear the lungs, Jimmy. I think it's time. Let's do it. Sit back, clear the lungs, and shout, Shut up
and give me
murder. Thank you very much, everybody. And that, we have to say, live shows, it's almost like the cities have a competition for who's going to shout it the loudest. This year, it's Pittsburgh and Boston are head-to-head. They were both.
Pittsburgh was so good.
They were so. Boston was, too, though.
Ever so clear.
Boston was, too, though. That old Wilbur felt like it was rattling. That was pretty good, too.
I heard every letter at the same time.
They announced, well, it was, obviously marred by the Boston accent over there. It was like, shut up and give me murder, That's not a Boston accent, but I'm mixing all the different areas around. It was a general cacophony.
Hodgepodge,
In the Midwest, they were very precise about it. So that said, let's go on a trip here. And we are going to go to Ohio this week.
Okay.
Again, one of our favorites. I'm telling you, it's never lets us down, Ohio. There's plenty of murder, so there's a lot to choose from. So you can only, it's the creme de la creme of murder is what you get here. We're going to Montville Township, Ohio.
Okay.
This is in north central Ohio, about a half hour outside of Akron. That's what it is. About 45 minutes to Cleveland. So it's in that area. So we've been there. It's not the best area. Yeah. It's a little bit bleak. 25 minutes to Coventry Township, which was kind of like in Cleveland, if I remember, in Akron almost, which was disturbing, depraved, and disgusting was the name of the episode. Gross. This is in Medina County. The motto, a wonderful place to live, a great place to do business. It's just
repurposing every other one.
That's all that is. We heard some other town had this motto and we liked it, so we took it. That should be their real motto.
Live, work, and play. We'll repurpose that.
Let's do that.
Shine it up with different words.
Shine it up a little, put a little spit shine on it. Why not? History of this town here. Back in the 1800s, when this town is, this area is coming about, there's a lot of game there. But also a lot of snakes and rattlesnakes and all that sort of thing.
Yikes.
So there were certain people who were like, they were the guys who would go get the game, and it was dangerous to go hunt.
Trappers and
hunters, and also people who would get rattlesnakes out of people's homes because they would get under the boards and make nests, and you'd have
pest control
rattlesnakes in your house. Yeah, but it's like strictly for rattlesnakes. You'd call the
Call the
snake wrangler.
Man.
That's it. We know from anytime you see in a Hollywood situation, if there's any kind of snake wrangler or bug person, that's the weirdest person you'll ever meet in your life. Yeah. They don't know other humans. They live amongst reptiles, and that's it. There's no other
They
life.
Sleep with them crawling on them.
And they don't mind it at all. They're like, it's actually comfortable. It's actually comforting to have a
When I sleep in a hotel, I
you.
can't really do it without bringing my Madagascar hissing beetles.
I do that, yeah. Well, it's more like a white noise for you. Yeah. I told you to get a machine, but you're like, the Beatles are the only thing that'll work. And I'm like, fine.
That's all that works.
Whatever.
It's the real,
I guess use them.
The real thing or nothing.
So a guy named Parker Pelton was one of the most successful game hunters in the early days here. And he was known to be a supplier of meats. Yeah, Pelton.
A man named Pelton goes and gets pelts. Hilarious.
He goes and gets Pelton's pelts. I mean, that no wonder why the business was successful. It's the only one that it's snappy, you know?
He's pelting them up.
I got, the Rogers guy's got some pelts, and Mr. Jenkins has pelts, but I don't know. Pelton's pelts just sound better, don't they? I just want one of his. I feel like they're nicer.
I don't even care if it's a piece of shit. I'm buying it.
I just feel like it's nicer. The sign makes me feel good about myself.
Think he made that last name on purpose?
I don't know. Parker Pelton's Pelts.
The first stage name without a stage?
The first game hunter stage name, maybe. I like alliteration, damn it. Yeah. So in those days, though, the people were afraid of the woods as they were also full of bears and wildcats. So anyone who had the balls...
They still are.
Yeah, as we saw, driving. Yeah. Anyone who has the balls to go into the woods and fight the bears and come back with like a beaver pelt, you were the hero back then. Hey, go ahead.
A bear.
And a bear, yeah. So a guy named John Clark became lost while hunting, and friends and neighbors organized a search party, and they eventually rescued him, but they thought he was eaten by bears, and they made a big deal. It was like, the guy was gone for like 5 hours. It's like a huge thing in the history of the town. Remember when John was missing? Wow, he got lost in the woods.
Remember he had breakfast with us, didn't have lunch with us, but then had dinner with us? Big deal. Yeah, it was a big deal.
But then he was there for dinner, man. It was weird. In 1943, a tornado came through from the west and took down some barns, and then it jumped a couple of highways and took down another big barn on the George Fulton farm. And unfortunately, there were 2 young boys in the barn at the time, and they were killed.
Oh, my God.
It was like a Twister situation where the barn was blown apart, and they weren't they weren't belted to a drain pipe. They were
the other night there was a big one in Arkansas, and I saw a video. They have quickly become my most horrifying weather phenomena. I'm terrified of those things.
When you see that, I'm not a religious man, you know that, but God doesn't want you to live there. That's what that is. That's what that is. And it's not even...
There's a higher power saying, fucking leave.
Yeah, and you could say like California with earthquakes, but I feel like that's like, listen, if you're going to get oceans and, these hills and all this shit, you're going to live with this once in a while.
Every 20, 30 years, you're gonna have some shaking.
Here, this is like God's porn closet, and he's like, get out! Out of here! I send thine winds to thwart thee.
And if you don't leave, I'm going to send another one in 2 weeks.
It's good. There's a whole season for it. And maybe that's what it's like. Like, get out! I want privacy.
So they are so scary, though.
They're horrifying. They're the most. They're the most like acute force of nature. It's like all of nature is concentrated into one tiny little tunnel that can just destroy anything in its path. It's crazy.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So in the 80s and 90s, this place grew a lot here, these suburbs, people as they moved out of Cleveland and Akron and that sort of thing. So we'll give you a couple reviews here. Not a lot of bad reviews. This place is known as like a nice, leafy, beautiful suburb where it's nice and quiet and people, do okay financially. And that's especially what it was known like when this murder happened about 20 years ago. So
it was great.
Just beautiful, idyllic suburb is what everybody puts it as. So here's 5 stars. Family-oriented with an upscale feel in a ruralish setting. Which sounds like ruralish, which sounds like somebody's ad person put that.
Sounds like or it sounds like a lot of people with reclaimed barn wood and barn doors on the inside of their home.
A lot of those where the bathroom door doesn't shut all the way,
right?
Just,
and, your ass scent lingers into the hallway.
Everybody's poop is just in the air in the kitchen, in the living room. So, strong sense of community and very friendly atmosphere. Close to historic downtown Medina. Oh, historic. Great access to all forms of big box and name brand shopping, with the additional benefit of access to small farm meats and produce. Traffic? ? No issue.
Not a thing.
We got you covered. Oh boy, that's terrific. Here's 4 stars. I currently live in a townhome community, and I would live here again. You live there now. You haven't left yet. What are you talking about? Just
That's a
stay.
religious person. When I come back, I'm going to be here again.
Just stay, bro. That's all. You don't have to go anywhere. No one's telling you to leave, are they?
Well, that might be a criminal on the run.
That's true. Man, when I'm on the lam,
it's a bummer
boy,
I gotta leave.
If I can get away from the FBI, I'm coming back here someday.
It's a bummer the FBI got my tail again.
Damn it. Coming from a busier area, that gives me a peace of mind that I was looking for. It's quiet, less traffic, and people seem nice and more pleasant and in a generally safe area. The future for this area is only moving up. Although it may seem like a small city, new businesses have been popping up in the area.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Here's the 3 stars. This is the worst review you can find. Downtown in the Medina Square is a nice place to walk around and help support the local economy. The biggest drawback of this area for me would be the school district. That's it. Oh. That's all. And we don't know what the complaint is there. I mean, who knows? So
they're going to say, I love walking around down there, except I have no legs.
Except that my legs were taken by the poison water in this town or something weird. So people in this town, 11,993. About 12,000 people. Pretty average for male, female, maybe a couple more males than females. Median age is 41. It's 37 normally, so that's in the ballpark. But it's all families. This is like all families with kids. 69.5% are married here.
Is that right?
Normally 50-50 in the rest of the country. Mm-hmm. This is people who don't want to get divorced because they will lose what they have. So they're like, let's just live here. We have a big house. You stay on that side. I'll stay on this side. And we'll keep all of our shit. How's that?
You hate me? I'll get a bigger house and you have to see less of me.
That's perfect. And then when the kids come home from college, we'll pretend that we're fine for a week over Christmas and then back to our lives. Yeah. So this is family here. Yeah, there's that. Divorce rate is lower than normal. It's less single people with children. Race of this town, 92.3% white.
Heavy.
That's pretty white for close to Cleveland and Akron, you know.
Sure is.
1.2% black. Like I said, that seems light for...
Yeah, it's bronze.
3.6% Asian, 1.6% Hispanic. That's strange that there's more Asian people than black and Hispanic combined. And outside of Cleveland and Akron. It just doesn't seem... Who knows? Whatever. Religion, not that we're saying there should be less Asians, damn it. It's not what we're saying at all.
Fair.
We're just saying it's a strange distribution of demographics. Religion, it's about average here. It's normally 50-50 here. It's 52%. And they're scattered around somewhat, but the Catholics are the highest here. So
is that right?
Catholics are the Baptists of the Midwest. There we go. I don't know. 0.0% Jewish, though. None of that. No Jewish people at all. Politics here, it's a little bit conservative in Medina County. 37.5% voted Democrat, 61% voted Republican in the last election. Only 1.5% independent, which is low for these small towns.
Had their mind made up.
Had them made up, one way or the other. Montville Township here, the unemployment rate is about the national average at about 3.3 right now, which is when they do economic models, that's like dangerously low because there's not enough people to fill jobs and shit like that. That's very low. So the average income here, though, the median household income is $103,264.
They are doing great.
They're doing fantastic. The median average, rest of the country, $53,482. Mm-hmm. So that tells you a lot. The cost of living here, 100 is average. Here it's 104. Yeah. Not even that bad.
Very average, yeah.
Housing, $122. The median home cost, $333,500. So,
and I'll bet they're fantastic.
There's a lot of them have like nice big properties. It's not like quarter acres. It's you got an acre,
couple acres, 3 acres.
It's nice. And if we've convinced you, you're looking for a slower pace of life.
Yeah,
stretch
out a bit.
Stretch out a bit. Get some lawn under those toes. We have for you the Montville Township, Ohio Real Estate Report. Okay, your average 2-bedroom rental here is about $893.
Not bad.
Which is low, but there are no rentals really in this place. Okay. This is a mainly like single-family homes. These are kind of listings for Medina County, kind of around here, not in the town proper. Here's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. It is 936 square feet, so pretty small.
Yeah.
It looks like shit from the outside, but inside it's okay. Like they've kept it nice and clean, and they've done what they can in here. There is Cleveland Browns shit everywhere.
Oh, no.
Hopefully that doesn't come with the house, because that's going to drive away most everybody.
Hope that's not permanent.
No shit. And I feel like they've been up a long time based on the sign in the bathroom, which I know has been up a long time. In the bathroom, it says, "This is a bathroom, not an internet cafe."
Okay.
Which I haven't heard the words internet cafe since like 1996. That's right. I was in like 10th grade the last time I heard that word, internet cafe.
There were CDs of the internet being mailed to people when that word was being used.
Hey, 25 free hours. Look at me. That's the last time that happened.
Holy shit.
Interesting, though. Cat stuff everywhere, too. So it smells like cat. There's cat hair embedded in that carpet. $100,000, though. So
wow.
Pretty cheap, anyway. It's a small house. Here we go. 2-bedroom, 3-bath, 4,881 square feet.
All right.
Okay, with 2-bedroom, 3-bath. I don't know what the deal is with that.
2-bedroom, 3-bath.
Very strange. It's a weird place. It's gigantic, but it only has a couple of rooms that look like they like inhabit them.
Oh, everything else is.
The rest of it is like abandoned, basically. Like they were like, fuck the rest of the house. We'll just keep these clean and stay here, and the rest of the house can fucking fall apart and be in squalor.
Well, it's 4,000 square feet. That's a lot of walking around room.
It's a lot, but I mean, it's full of shit. It's almost like a hoarder house downstairs in certain spots. Upstairs, there's ceiling falling down. Like it's falling apart. There's ceiling half down, water damage. There's kiddie pools placed in places that are half full of water that obviously are to collect from the ceiling that's leaking.
This is the second nicest house, Jay?
This is the second nicest house, and it's not nice. And then there's like a couple of like bedrooms that clearly old people live in. This is a big house that have gotten away from the older people that live there. That's what has happened.
Yeah.
$175,000 though.
For 4,000 square feet a house.
Almost 5,000. It's 4,900 square feet.
That's unbelievable.
Then 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 2,603 square feet. Big, newer brick house. Nothing weird about it. It's got a weird kind of a balcony thing, but it's nice new house. Not a lot of personality to it.
Yeah.
$549,500 though.
My God.
It's in a nice neighborhood and all that.
For it.
You're paying for it. Things to do in this town. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. This is my favorite. The railroad camp.
What?
Remember the beginning of Blazing Saddles when they were like working on the railroad? That didn't look fun. That looked that looked forced. You know what I mean? Here it says, join the Northeastern Ohio Live Steamers.
Ew.
Which sounds disgusting. Sounds
That's
like
gross.
Live steamers.
It's a lot of people getting shit on their chest.
Come on, everybody! Yeah, it's a Guinness Book of World Records thing. Sometimes the town will like line up the biggest meatball sandwich ever made, and it's like 3 blocks. This is the largest steamer operation. They do it right in town square. The kids come. It's nice.
Everybody lays shoulder to shoulder.
Whoever wins, you get to do it on a float the next Saturday at the front of the parade with the mayor on the back waving. So the NEOLS, that is. It's a railroad camp in the summer. Campers will have opportunities to experience track and switch construction.
What?
They get to build railroads. They get to lay track. They get to, quote, experience that.
Oh, boy.
I think, track installation and to learn safe operation of electric, diesel, and steam locomotives. This is a work camp is what this is. Learning during the week will be culminated on Friday with campers giving train rides to their relatives. Okay. Open to youths, open to youths, 10 to 14 years. There is a $45 program fee, and that's how that goes. And participants are to provide their own bag lunches and transportation to and from the Leicester Rail Train Track
Yeah, that's
site.
called work. Bring a sack of lunch and build a track. That's work.
And lay some track, and then we won't pay you. As a matter of fact, that'll be $45, please.
And on Friday, you're going to take some people out and drive them around the track.
Yeah, which they're going to then tell people what a great place we have. That's what that is. That's going to get advertising for us. $45, please. A railroad track labor work camp. That doesn't sound fun.
That sounds terrible.
And then finally, the Yankee Peddler Festival. I like the name of that. It sounds crazy. Town criers update festival goers with events happening on the fairgrounds throughout the day. Visit the militia and mountain men or learn crafts with hands-on instruction. Visit with the master crafters and artists while they demonstrate the way to transform nature into something unique for you and yours.
Okay.
Yikes. You get to make
woodworking and what?
You get to make belt buckles.
Oh, God.
You get to do shit like that. It sounds really boring. This sounds like something you...
It's like 1700s shit.
It's 1776 to 1825, colonial times, and all of our crafters and vendors are required to dress in year-appropriate attire at all times. All times.
Renaissance Festival,
and
where you build belt buckles.
And they're also expected to provide educational displays and written histories of their crafts as well. So... You got to do a, what's that called at the end of the year when you do a college thing? I didn't go to college, so I don't know.
It's a dissertation.
Dissertation. You need a dissertation on whatever you have, and that's your final exam.
On how you became a fucking cobbler.
How you are a cobbler, why, and what year your shoes are from. So good luck, everybody. Crime rate, what we're interested in here, very low in both regards.
Really?
Property crime is 1/3 of the national average. So
fascinating.
2/3 low. And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault is also the Mount Rushmore of crime, obviously, is also, that's even lower. It's under 1/3 of the national average. It's basically nothing. Nobody's.
I mean, you got $100,000 a year. It'll make you quite the citizen.
And there's some room too. Room is the other thing. That's the thing.
Room and money. That's what everybody wants.
You walk outside. If your neighbor's pissing you off, you go, and you go inside in your nice house where you have room, and you tell whoever about it, and then you go out for a nice dinner because you don't give a shit.
Commiserate and go have a steak.
It's way different than if you had groundhog for breakfast and
gross.
You had groundhog for breakfast, and there's a parrot telling you what's going on.
Groundhog for breakfast and purple drink and
God damn it.
Vodka for breakfast.
If you haven't
snack.
If you haven't listened to the Small Town Murder Express episodes, you need to do yourself a favor and go and check those out because they are insane. So let's talk about a murder here. Let's do it. Okay? I'm into this. Let's do it. Okay. Late October 2002 is where we have to start out here.
Post 9/11?
Post 9/11.
Fascinating.
Yeah. We're people have cell phones.
Yeah.
There's the internet. It's all.
We all get along at this time. There's flags everywhere. We're all smiling. Because united we stand, James.
Yeah, somewhat. Unless you were unfortunate enough to be like a Sikh or something where you were like,
Good point. Yeah.
Why are you doing those?
I have no idea what that is.
I knew a guy in Arizona who was a Sikh, and he said it was a fucking nightmare. He's like,
I can imagine.
You'd walk into a room and just be like, you'd have to explain what a Sikh was to everybody.
Don't worry.
Before you ask, let me tell you, as he said every time. So anyway, we got to talk about a young lady here. Mm-hmm. Jolynn, one word, Jolynn Mishne, Mishne. Mishne. So she is 17 years old at this point in time. Mm-hmm. She's a junior in high school.
Yeah.
Doing fine, why not? Crushing it. She goes to Medina High. Her dad, she lives with her father. Her father's 73 years old, by the way.
My God. What is that math?
That's a lot.
50,
he's in his
50-something.
Yeah, he was like 54 when she was, because I think he's 71 at this point. So
okay.
He's in his mid-50s when she was born. Yeah. And her mother's a lot younger. Her father's about 30 years older than her mother.
Oh.
So, that's how that goes. They're divorced now, though. So,
okay.
That
didn't work out.
Didn't work out. But they did have Jolynn, so that worked out. That's good. From what everybody says, she is an extremely nice girl. She is described by one person as sweet and guileless. So she's not aggressive. She
doesn't play Street Fighter?
No, she does not. If she does, she uses Ryu. That's the thing.
Okay.
Every time, Guile is your guts and your kind of drive forward. You're
some can do.
She won't come back at you. She's sweet. Okay. She's kind.
Oh.
She's not like not looking to fuck people and to get ahead and do all that shit. She's just kind of a nice person.
Do it on merit and shit.
And she's sweet. She's very kind is the other thing.
Beautiful.
She meets a young man there. She knows of him because he goes to the same school, but they don't really know each other well or anything like that. And he's only 15. So 17-year-old girls don't know a lot of 15-year-old boys that well unless they're, little brothers of their friends or something. They don't give a shit about if you're 15 and a boy in high school, you are invisible to anyone your age or older. Invisible. And when it comes to girls, they have no interest in you whatsoever. None.
Yeah.
Zero. So she meets this young man named Dustin Lynch.
Yeah.
So Dustin is 15, like we said. She meets him outside of Denny's. Okay. She came to Denny's to give a friend a ride home because she's so nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he was outside, and he was 15, and she kind of recognized him from school. Like she'd seen him but doesn't know him, that sort of thing. Okay. He was outside begging people for a place to sleep that night.
Oh, Dustin.
He's outside.
You're 15. Go home.
Well, he said he was scared to go home. His home life's not good, and he's just really scared, and he just needs a place to stay for a few nights till some trouble at home blows over, and it's safer to go back there.
Jesus.
So this really strikes Jolene's heartstrings, obviously, because she's a kind person, and this is like there's a puppy outside, basically, a 15-year-old kid who's like, right, my home life is too dangerous to be there.
When is this? Is this summer or winter?
This is October, late October.
Yeah, it's cold.
So fall. Yeah, it's getting cold. Yeah, it's not. You don't want to sleep outside on October 28th, really, in Ohio. We were just there in April. It was freezing. We were there a couple weeks ago. It was so cold in Ohio. It was unreal.
Drove from Pittsburgh to Ohio and drove through every form of water that falls from the sky. Every single form.
It kept changing back and forth. It was fun. It was like we'd go over a hill and be like, hey, it's snowing now. Look at this.
Look at this.
We went through West Virginia, too. We had to get through it quickly because we figured there's an APB out for us there. We know there is.
Right through the talon of the chicken.
They hate us now. They have to. They're like, this goddamn son of a bitch is making fun of groundhog. Where are they? Setting radar traps up.
Is there New York plates on that car?
I picture Jackie Gleason from Smokey and the Bandit out there just trying to track us down. Boss Hogg is involved in it. I don't know what's happening. So he's begging for a place, so she brought him home. She brought him home to her house like a puppy. Like I found this puppy outside.
Don't feed it.
And don't feed it. Put it back out there. So the father here, his name is Merle. Which sounds like a 70-something-year-old man.
Yeah, I like him.
Merle Mishney. He goes by Mickey. Everybody calls him Mickey. So
why? Merle's such a kick-ass name.
Merle's a pretty cool name, but I think he's
pretty badass.
He's trying to be kind of, smooth his edges out a little bit, maybe.
All right.
And Mickey's been very successful in his life, as we'll find. I think he's retired now, but he does some business things, but he's not like doesn't have a 9-to-5 job in the 70s here. But yeah, from what I understand, he's got a nice property. He's got a barn. He's got a Lotus in his barn.
Oh,
so we'll find out. He keeps a somewhere in Ohio. If barn find people, there's a Lotus in a barn out there. So
get to looking.
We know. So she brings him home and says, Dad, Merle, Mickey, Dad, I got this guy over here, Dustin, and he has no place to stay, and he's scared, and he's asking people for a ride at Denny's. He's going to get kidnapped. He's only 15. He's a small little guy, Dustin, too. He's not a big guy at all. He's a real non-threatening looking little dude. He's, short, skinny. In high school, how in high school some kids look like they're 25 and some kids look like they're 12. Yeah. He's one of the ones that looks like he's 12, not 25.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, he's not like no beard or anything like that.
Yeah.
He looks prepubescent almost at this point in his life. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe. proactive security system. SimpliSafe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News & World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want SimpliSafe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So, like I said, they went to the same school. They didn't know each other, so she felt comfortable enough with him because, they go to the same school. Right. What's going to happen? So the father here, Mickey, agrees and allows him to stay for about a week. This kid stays. He is allowed to sleep in a sleeping bag on Jolynn's bedroom floor with the door open. The door open. That's Mickey's rules here. He says, listen, you guys can... This is fine, but
you
door open.
I'll take it off the fucking hinge.
Sleeping bag. But he's also a 70-year-old man who probably doesn't stay up all night. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So each night he was there. It was like he was like the pet, basically. He was a new kid that lived at the house. He would sleep on the sleeping bag. They'd go to a neighbor's house where her friend lived, and her and her friend would do homework together. And Dustin would sit and play Grand Theft Auto 3 for hours while she did her homework. Because, whatever. Now, 3 is the one right before Vice City.
Yeah.
And then Vice City, and then you had San Andreas.
Yeah, and Vice City changed the game.
Vice City. 3 is just...
unbelievable.
3 is pretty crappy, if I'm being honest here. But for the time, it was remarkable.
It was great.
But then Vice City came out, and you were like,
and it's like, why would you play anything else?
What do you need? And then when San Andreas came out, you were like, oh, Vice City was garbage. You couldn't even walk normal. It was all...
Yeah.
Yeah, they've improved those games a lot. Anyway, enough of our Grand Theft Auto talk. That's what they were doing.
What a game, though. Yeah.
It's so fun. Grand Theft Auto is the type of game, a lot of people don't like it, but it's the type of game that if you don't want to do like missions or you don't want to go blow things up or anything like that, you can just, it's a driving game then.
Yeah, you can go get lost and have a great time.
Or you can find, there's all sorts of things to do. Yeah, you can just drive around. You can just be like, I wonder, I do like
how far does this go?
Helicopter flight simulator. This is fun. It's pretty cool. I want to drive this car off a mountain and see if I can land it on its wheels. That's fun. Shit like that. So you can play it in a fun way, even if you hate it. Now, Dustin Lynch, let's talk about who he is at this point. This poor little puppy dog guy, taken in, dangerous at home. Yeah. He's also a Department of Youth Services parolee and a runaway from a juvenile facility.
So there's no home.
There is a home, but the home does suck. But he also knows they're going to look for him there because he's on the run here. He's about a month short of being 16. He's about 15. He's 15, late 15s, and eventually, over the course of this week, Jolynn becomes attached to him. She likes him, becomes affectionate with him, trusting with him, and all this type of thing. She's described in court documents later as she was emotionally attached to him and physically close to him. So
in a week?
In a week. So it sounds like they're kind of forming a relationship of, I guess a romantic nature. I'm not sure whether it is or not, but
a little more than friends.
From all indications, it seems like it. It seems like a romantic. It's taking that turn, but we can't know for sure. So he ends up staying there, and the whole time the dad feels bad for him. He's scared to go home. You gonna kick some kid out who's scared to go home? I can't go home because it's scary there. Like that's.
I'm gonna toss him out. Where's he gonna go after that?
He's gonna go to Denny's and beg people for a ride, and then he's gonna get picked up by some weirdo who's gonna, cut his head off and be a small town murder episode. And it's my fault. Right. It's my fault I made a small town murder. That's how he's gonna feel.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to give us any help. That's what it is.
He's got a heart.
So who the hell is this poor kid?
I'd love to know.
Let's find out. Well, he's got a long history of unsuccessful rehabilitations in the juvenile justice system here.
He's so young.
He's had a lot of problems. I'll talk about his record. I have his whole record here. It's a lot. His father, never around.
Sure. Absent most of the time.
From what everybody says in court and everything else, his mother is not a good parent, just kind of a shit parent. In court, she is the judge calls her an ineffective parent at one point.
Okay.
So not great. According to some, because he goes through a lot of counseling and shit when you're a kid this age who keeps getting arrested. So the counselor said that, and psychiatrist said that the only male influences in his life were his mother's, quote, many husbands and boyfriends.
Yikes.
So just a revolving door of bad guys coming in and out. And they said, with the exception of the man that she's married to now, they were all either abusive or demeaning or both.
God damn it.
To Dustin. So they said, though, they're in his reports here when he's 15, when he's in juvenile hall, or juvenile whatever detention facility when he's 15, they say the juvenile is intellectually and emotionally capable of overcoming his poor upbringing, but he has never shown the slightest inclination to do so.
So he can do it, he just doesn't want to try.
He's smart enough, and they said he understands, not just having the capacity, intellectual capacity. He understands the world, he gets what's going on, and he just doesn't give a shit, and he doesn't want to fix it. He doesn't want to do any better. That's what they're saying here. While awaiting adjudication as a delinquent child, he was under a community control sanction, or was on parole for which is a parole for a prior delinquent child adjudication or conviction. So he's on kiddie parole.
Boy, oh boy.
He's on kiddie parole when he's like 13, 14, which is a lot. He was on parole with the Department of Youth Services for this and everything. Now, here are some of his highlights of his life here. In 1999, so he's 13 years old, he gets his offense was unruly behavior, like some sort of disorderly conduct for a child.
Yeah.
It's a youth charge, unruliness. He gets indefinite probation. So we're going to keep an eye on you, is what that is.
Indefinite.
Indefinite. We don't know how long this is going to take, but we're going to keep an eye on this kid. It doesn't seem to be good. In April of 2000, he is put on probation after that, and that's a continued probation. They reevaluate him. Then he violates that again, and so he's rearrested. Then in January of 2001, he is found unruly again and given indefinite probation again. In March of 2001, he is arrested for theft and convicted and given continued probation. They just tack that on. In May of 2001, underage alcohol possession. So they give him a continued probation, and now he gets chemical evaluations with his...
God damn it.
Now they do that. By September 14th, 2001, which is, 3 days after everybody... Right. Everybody's watching TV at this point, you know what I mean? And
the fires are still burning.
Yeah, instead he's busted for drug abuse and curfew violation, and he is again given continued probation for that again. He just keeps going in probation. December 2001, he again violates his chemical evaluation, which is not good. Then in March of 2002, he's arrested for grand theft.
Oh, boy.
So it's escalating, and he is committed to the Ohio Department of Youth Services, so he's finally put in a facility of some kind. and then he violates his parole again over the summer. So
how does he keep doing it?
He just doesn't give a fuck. He
doesn't care at all.
Wait till you hear how he's described. He just and what he says personally. He does not give a fuck. He's just he's like 1996 Tupac. Like he's like, I just got out of jail. I don't give a fuck. I'll punch a person in a casino on camera. Fuck it. I don't care. Like he's just doing whatever. It doesn't give a shit. So March 24th, 2002. This is right after he got busted for grand theft and he was committed to the facility there. Okay. He's in there. He's only 4 days after he's been put in here. Two corrections officers found him sitting in the corner of his room with a big gash on his forehead.
Oh, Jesus.
So he's just sitting in the corner, big gash. So they thought somebody beat him up because he's a small kid. Yeah. Instead, he'd been banging his own head against the wall.
There you go.
Hard enough to cut it open so then he could take his own blood and write threatening words on the floor in front of him. Yeah. So he was just dipping his fingers in his blood, writing like, I'll kill you, fuck you, all this shit, and his own blood on the floor.
That is a problem. Something's wrong with him. Yeah.
We've had people writing their own shit on the walls, which is a larger red flag. I mean, obviously they're different psychologically, but I'm more scared of the guy who bashes his own head open to get the blood out.
Yeah, he's willing to hurt himself for this, whereas the other guy's relieving himself.
He just had to shit, yeah.
He's just helping himself out.
That was just, he's
more
just
selfish.
This is convenient. It's like, I want something to make a statement. I got to shit anyway. Whereas this kid's like,
you won't give me a pencil, I'll make one.
Yeah. This kid's like, I'll smash my face till I have a pen. That's another level of pissed off. So that's what that happens there. And at this moment, too, they find all of his journal entries because he has all these different journals, and some of these journals, Maron, Jimmy, this is like this kid has problems, man. He wrote about extremely violent thoughts towards some of his friends and, of course, his biological father. There, he wrote about his desire to go on a robbery and killing spree so that his friends and family could watch him in a car chase, quote, on the 5, 6, and 10 o'clock news, just like O.J. Simpson.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
And at that age, though, a lot of that sounds like cry for help. You know what I mean?
Yes,
you can't really determine damage because of children. Yeah, I mean,
I knew kids that would do terrible things. And now, looking back, I know why they were doing it. At the time, you were like, what is wrong with you? Why'd you do that? But now I know, you know?
Yeah, and some of them are just like they say this stuff, but they have zero interest in actually perpetrating those kinds of crimes against people, but more, they can't hurt. Look, there's murderers and there's not, and you can say things, but whether or not you can do it is an entirely different thing.
It's 5% of the people that say crazy shit do crazy shit. That's what it is, and there's not.
But that 5% fucks it for everybody.
Yeah, that 5% makes you really perk up your ears when you're like, "What did he just say?" That motherfucker.
Question. He
like
might
OJ,
be the 5%. Yeah.
He might be the 5%. Or he might be another thing kids do, and especially a smaller kid, I would think in like a high school situation, might say shit like that so people don't mess with him.
Right. That posturing is important to keep people from fucking with you. That's survival tactics. That's
I didn't even think of that because that's not like a,
It's not a thing you ever had to do or had to be.
Sometimes
you got to mouth off.
Not in high school. Yeah, not in high school. By high school, I was 6'4", so there wasn't the first guy people wanted to fuck with, but
I was 5'1".
My younger years, I wasn't very big, so I get it. Totally. When I was like in 7th grade, I was small, I remember. I was like, this isn't good. Everyone's growing. What happened?
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, you're going to grow all at once. That's all. You're going to grow.
I did that too.
2
only
months.
Stopped much shorter than I hoped.
When's it going to stop? Keep going. So he wrote about an incident which he claimed he walked up to a kid crossing the street, quote, spun him around and hit him as hard as I could 3 times. Then he claimed he dragged the kid into the woods and beat him with trees and rocks until he was a bloody mess. That was that's what he wrote in his journal. He said, quote, I never got in trouble for that, and I was proud of that.
Do you think he really did it? He did it, right?
I don't know. That's the thing. We'll talk about it. There's a lot of things that he says where you're like, I don't know if that's. I think he's full of shit. He also wrote about his favorite author is James Patterson.
Who's that?
He writes, I think, like spy shit, like, that sort of thing. Like what? Like if your grandfather was reading a book, it would be a James Patterson, I believe. You know what I mean? Like one of those, like a Dean Koontz type. That type of soul. I think that sort of thing. Well, I think there's just a lot of like crazy action and shit in it. Probably. Okay. He said that in his books there's a chief protagonist that's a homicide detective that he really likes a lot. He said, reading these though, rather than saying, just being smart, he says, I think about how I could get away with murders and violence in the book. I read, and thoughts and ideas is what I took.
Take it easy, Ed Kemper.
Yeah, that's
not good at all.
He's not getting the right thing out of the book. If you see all that in front of you and you don't take the good part and you're just like, I could get away with this if I do this and that. That's how they're trying to do it. That's how they solve those.
The point of the story is to show you there's a hero that solves the crime of the bad guy who you are.
And then you feel good about it. That's what you're supposed to. Not, how could I get away with this based on that? That's not what you're doing.
Stop rooting for the bad guy, sir.
He's doing like murder research here.
Yeah.
So he didn't refer to a specific Patterson novel, but he said that there's one where the perpetrators taunt police and FBI by leaving Jack and Jill poems at the scene of the murders.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now, another journal entry he makes in his careful penmanship here is when he turned 15, he wrote this passage while he was at the Medina Juvenile Detention Center here.
Okay.
He said, this is a quote, I've been plotting things for others. For others I want to die. That no comma, like others I want to die. It's for others I want to die. It's like wants to kill.
People I want to hurt, yeah.
Yeah, or just wants them to die, maybe just,
Yeah.
Just fall in a hole in the ground. I don't know if he wants to do
it. By a car.
At this point, he hasn't said he wants anything to do with it, but who knows? I hope a piano falls on him. He said, then I realize what I'm doing and break down and cry. These are all rhyming, by the way. It's like a poem. Yeah. I'm telling you this now because it's getting worse and harder for me to control. I tried to kill myself, and that's very cold. I tried to kill myself because I don't want to deal with these problems that I have. Is there somebody who can help me when I'm sad? I'm crazy, and nobody really knows. That's why I think it's the time to expose.
Okay. Well, there's music that you can listen to that makes you feel better.
Woof. There's a lot of things. You can unpack that.
He needs to find somebody he relates to because these are like those. He's a bad rhymer, first of all.
First of all, I hope hip-hop isn't your main goal.
Yeah.
I feel like this kid loves the Insane Clown Posse in 2002, don't you?
Probably.
Just the vibes I'm getting off him.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a big ICP fan.
He's not an Eminem level lyricist.
No.
He's rhyming like cold and control. That's
control and cold and
precarious at best.
That's I mean, at least he didn't try to rhyme pay and paid like Kanye, but still.
Yeah.
So he's as good at rapping as Kanye. Perfect.
He's a Fred Durst level of rapping.
Oh, yeah,
too.
That's
what it is.
He's got a Durst
Fred
streak
Durst
in him.
did that rolling thing with Method Man. And I'm so mad at Method Man for legitimizing that horse shit.
It was already out there, though.
But Method Man puts out this fantastic, unbelievable set of bars, and then
what do you think they paid Method Man
asshole? I hope $1 billion.
That's what I mean. Like that cost him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hard.
And then Fred Durst comes in rhyming red and bed. Fuck you.
If you're Fred Durst, how do you want Method Man around you? Like,
honestly,
I'd be like, don't let him rhyme near me.
No,
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, God.
Get out of here. Is there somebody from like the 80s we can put in here?
Right.
The hip to the hoppa. Those guys, are they around?
Somebody call LL Cool J, please.
The Sugar Hill. I need love, girl. Bring him in. I'll sound cool next to him. Come on, I'll sound tough next to LL.
At least.
Oh, he was great. Don't talk shit.
He's great. He's not a great rapper.
No, he's hilarious.
He is. Yeah.
He's a comedian that decided to do crazy songs as his comedy. Girl. He's screaming it, sounding drunk.
He did sound drunk.
You got what I need. He might as well have been saying, I'm sitting on your front steps and you're not home. Are you out at the bar? Where you at, bitch? That might as well be his song.
He sounds like the guy with the lights come on in the bar and he's just like, fuck, I didn't hook up.
Man.
Girl.
You got what I need.
Oh,
I'm so sad. He's crying in the steps, and then he falls asleep.
He made children's shows so much easier to watch, being Biz's beat of the day on that Yo Gabba Gabba. He's fantastic. God damn it, I miss him.
That show is a nightmare besides that. And you're like, fuck, where's Biz again? This is a fucking bitch, man. No more.
This is a bitch.
This is a bitch, man. This show's a
giant
motherfucker.
Studded dildo talking to me. Had one eye, for Christ's sake. Yeah, what else was that supposed to be?
As comedians, we can't cover Yo Gabba Gabba. That's been done to death. Everything we're saying has been covered 12 times by better comics than us, probably. So
it was so much.
It was a lot. We're about 20 years late on talking about it, though, I think. But still, bad, though. Bad shit. Terrible. Fucking nightmare. They don't make that anymore, right? No,
I don't. I think. I don't know. Maybe DJ Lance is probably on to bigger, better things by now. He was successful as fuck with that show.
Yeah. I'm sure he's doing some other weird kid show. I don't know. Some more different sex toys are coming to talk to the kids. One of those fuck machines is now talking to the kid. That's the main character. It's a fuck machine that talks in vibrations. And they go, fuck machine said this, that, and this. Okay, and then all the kids go figure it out, whatever the mystery or whatever it is. It's a super special fuck machine, and it's telling us exactly what to do. Let it lead the way, guys.
No place.
It's fucking terrible.
He's going to lead us to the no place.
To my no land. That's where they all live, in no land. Yes, on that show. Yo Gabba Gabba 2. It's a fuck machine in a place called no land. So I feel like this poem, if you look at it, though, from what he's trying to say, the first line is, I've been plotting things for others I want to die. And the last couple lines are, I'm crazy and nobody really knows. That's why I think it's the time to expose. That sounds like I'm going to kill people.
Yeah.
That's what I get.
Nobody recognizes it, and I'm going to show them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's time to show everyone how crazy I am, since they don't fucking know. And the first line was, I'd like people to die. So when I put those together, that doesn't sound great. He really sandwiched it with some hard thoughts, Yeah. So he has some other problems, too. He's placed on Paxil in 2002.
Okay.
He had stolen the van. They put him in there. He bashed his head open. He's writing crazy fucking poetry. They put him on Paxil. Something.
So that was the best one that I used.
Yeah, and this kid obviously needs something. I mean, he's out of control. You can't even put him in a room without him writing, writing threats in his own blood. That's crazy.
Right.
So
he needs some CR.
A little bit. He was taken abruptly off it, though, when he said he didn't like how it made him feel.
I feel you, bud.
They yanked him off of it. So then he was off of it, and he went in another up and down kind of a mental state here. His mother said, quote, he was up and down constantly, as they would, for different reasons. So his mother was mad because she said that he should have slowly been weaned off the drug to lessen the possibility of sudden mood swings here. Now, his probation officer, a woman named Jody Lynch, said that he tried to commit suicide twice while he was at the detention center as well.
Jody Lynch?
Jody Smith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. I said Lynch because his name is Lynch. Sorry about that.
Jody
Smith.
His aunt?
Nope, I was looking at him, and I'm looking at that. It's, Jody Smith, Lynch's juvenile probation officer is what I had written in front of me, and there
it is.
It came out, Jody Lynch, Smith's fucking probation officer. So she would say that he tried to commit suicide twice at the detention center. Once, the first time he tried to hang himself.
My God.
Yeah, that's wow. And then
that's dead serious.
That's pretty serious. Yeah, if you're stuck somewhere, you can't you can't get out of that,
Right. And if you fuck something up and then change your mind,
you're stuck.
That damage is permanent if it gets too far.
And the second time, she said he tried to cut his arms. So we don't know how serious of if he was really going at it, or if he was just trying to get some help there or something. So now his mother said that she was never told about either of those attempts.
Oh,
here. I don't know what the rules are for someone who's in criminal juvenile custody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Information that's,
Yeah, he's not just in a hospital. He's in a criminal facility because he stole shit and he's got like 9 probation violations. So
and he won't stop.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But he's still a minor, so I don't know what the rules are of having to tell the parents or Because I know you don't have to, at that point, they wouldn't have to get the parents' permission to put him on drugs or to do anything like that, because he's kind of a ward of the state at that point. So anyway, she found out when he was released and she saw the marks on his arm. That's how she found out and asked him. She said she was angry and called the detention center, called the superintendent, Garland R. Brown Jr., to ask why nobody called me to tell me about this. How could you not call me? And he said that it's against policy to call because detention center personnel determined the attempts were not life-threatening.
Oh.
So they were considered like, kind of half-assed kind of cries for help type of thing. Whatever. It wasn't really going at it, basically, is what they were saying. So the mother said that was so wrong of them, which, there's an argument that could be made for all of that. We don't know how serious the attempts were. Not that any attempts aren't serious, but sometimes,
if suicide's involved, whether it's a weak
you have
attempt
to take
or
it
a
seriously.
very serious one,
they're all serious.
It's still pretty fucking important to talk about. Yeah.
All should be taken seriously. So
I can see mom's side, but also, mom, maybe get a handle on this before 9 arrests. Like, what are we talking about?
Were you making phone calls fucking years ago too? That's what I want to know.
It's not like you're making all the effort to help. Jesus.
No shit. So between the Juvenile Detention Center and the New Horizons Youth Center here, he had been placed outside the home for more than 400 days total since his first arrest back when he was 13.
Wow.
So between 13 and 15, he's done over a year of that in a facility of some kind.
That's a lot.
I would say, holy shit. Once he got out, he failed in outpatient treatment programs and drug and alcohol counseling programs. He was 14.
How do you fail at that?
I don't know. It's weird because like when I was 14, if I wasn't supposed to go anywhere, like they could keep me in there was no way to just go. You weren't just like, well, I'm an adult and grab your car keys and go. You're a child. What are you fucking doing?
Also, how do you have so much access to booze that you have the ability to abuse it so hard at 14?
At 14, I don't know. That doesn't seem like good supervision. So
I realize it's not impossible to get. I get that, but it was
it's not. You'll find
so
it
readily available. Like you had to stand by a liquor store and beg a man to help contribute to my delinquency.
And when you look 12, that's anyone who does that's
easy.
Probably a child molester that's going to say yes to that because no one normal.
Sure,
they're going to go. You look like you're 9. I'm not buying you booze.
Right.
It's not like you're clearly 19 and who gives a fuck? You're going to go party with your friends. Whatever. That's a different story. This is like let's get some booze. I'll even show you how to drink it, sonny boy. Come on, hop on in.
Homeless man, and we paid him extra, and that was nice.
That
was
what
nice
you do.
of us.
That's what you do. That's the
you
move.
Take an extra 10 for you. You go do whatever, get whatever in there, or go get whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
We know it's a premium. We get it.
Right.
As a child, you're paying a premium.
I know beer costs more.
I know what it costs. I put an extra, 40% surcharge on anything.
I paid the VIG. Let's go.
So they said in one document, no juvenile sanction has deterred this boy. His behavior has progressed from being wayward and truant to committing misdemeanors to committing felony thefts. No treatment has been successful. That's a damning report from your probation officer.
Is he doing all this by himself, too? He needs friends.
He's got friends. That's the problem. He hangs out with fuckheads, but mainly he doesn't have like a group. From what I understand, he gets different groups of friends and tries to use his I'm crazy and I'll do all this shit as I'm like the leader of this group. Right. And, you're all going to be afraid of me. I'm that guy. That's kind of his.
An Eagle Scout friend.
Yeah. He needs like he needs like the big brother, like he needs like a 21-year-old dude who like, did this and did like a year in adult prison and then got out and got his shit together and now he's in college. Like he needs somebody like that to be like, yo, man, you're fucking up, dude. Yeah. I got, you don't want to know what happened to me in jail, shit like that. That's what he needs. But he doesn't give a fuck. That's the thing. I don't even think he would listen to that. I don't think this is fucked by now. This is almost like, remember on The Wire, and it's been a while since we've said that, but remember on The Wire, 4th season, when they're figuring out that they have, if you never saw it, they go to this school and they want to have a program of like intervention for what they call corner kids, the kids that are, obviously at threat of dropping out to be out on the streets, right?
Right. They're already in it or they're in danger of being there.
Yeah, and they're trying to figure out what age group to look at. And they say, well, maybe like 15, 16, and they're, the school people
That's
are like,
too late by then.
They're already gone by then. And they're like, no, we could talk to him. And they talk to this one kid, and they sit him down, and he's like, yo, fuck you, I'll pimp your fucking wife out, you cunt motherfucker. They're like, whoa, holy shit, okay, yeah, maybe that's a little too far.
Yeah, we got to get them when they're 8.
Yeah, and then they go to like 8th grade, and the kids are like 12 and 13, and like, a kid will like throw gum at the chalkboard, and they're like, I think this is the level we can handle. Like this. This isn't. Yeah. They're not threatening police officers from across the table with physical violence.
To sexually assault their wives.
Yeah, that's what they would say. Like, so that's kind of what I feel like here. He's past the point of where I don't know if you can take him in, and I don't think you can hug this out of him at this point, is what I'm getting at. There's that, but I don't think there's any like.
Yes, I don't think there's any scared straight shit that can be done either. No. It needs to be focused, very pick the reason and explain to him why we're doing this, because he gets it now, because he's fucking stealing.
But like, you put him in, and his thing is, you won't break me, I'll break my fucking head open and right on the floor taunts to you. Like, you're not going to break me. I'll always go farther than you. Like, that's his whole.
What do you do then? Do you just?
It's impossible. I don't know.
Do you lock that kid up and then just use him as an example and learn from him to figure out what to do for the other kids?
But how do you do that? Lock him up on what? So how do you do it? So nothing's been successful. They said that his probation officer said that services and treatment can only begin when the child's out of detention and compliant with court orders, like to show up for treatments he's supposed to have. She says, though, but the boy immediately violates orders and reoffends. He does not cooperate with treatment. Right. The one thing here, this is quote, the child is emotionally, physically, or psychologically mature enough for the transfer this to another facility. They said that the physical examination indicates that he presents a normal 16-year-old with no physical infirmities. He's got no brain damage or anything like that. So they say also, they talk to his friends, they say that he is average size. He's a little small, but he's not like, anything that would get made fun of. And he's very socially active. Okay. Likes to talk to people, doesn't like hole up by himself. Yeah. They said, this Dr. Evans says that, quote, the juvenile is one of the most complex individuals that he has encountered in his long experience with disturbed and delinquent youths. The doctor says that this juvenile could be rehabilitated in the juvenile system, but only if he were greatly motivated under optimum conditions. So he'd have to want it, and everything would have to go great, and then maybe we could fix him. Otherwise, he's a lost cause, is what the doctor says. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. Yeah. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too. Yeah. They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. Yeah. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
They said that there's nothing in this juvenile's past pointing to a sincere desire to turn his life around. Dustin Lynch is defiant and hostile. He engages in precocious and unhealthy sexual relationships without shame.
What?
Older women, chicks. He'll try to. He says he lost his virginity when he was 12, and has had all sorts of sexual activity since then.
Dustin.
Crazy stuff. He abuses drugs and alcohol without regret. He commits crimes and violates court orders without fear of consequences. This is terrible. They said that his father has been missing in action for most of the boy's life. He has just lately shown an interest in Dustin. His ineffectual mother has been distracted by her complicated love life. She never provided the boy with a stable home.
Oh, my.
Yeah, this is an amazing quote. Dustin Lynch is happy when he's having sex, using drugs, or breaking the law. Well, yeah, who isn't? Who the fuck isn't? You just described fun, but you can't do that all the time.
You just described a lot of 35-year-old men.
Yeah. You just described a lot of everybody. Sex, drugs, breaking the law. We all love that. We all love to speed. Yeah. We all love a little... whether it's some wine or some fucking weed or whatever you got going on, some drugs, and who the hell doesn't like sex?
That seems obvious.
So there you go. But he's 15. He really shouldn't know what any of those things feel like yet.
Right.
That's the problem that they're dealing with at this point. He shows some progress only when he is locked up, is what the doctor goes on to say. Quote, he is not well. He is profoundly disordered.
Okay.
Hey, so after divorcing his mother, after divorcing his father, took up with a series of, quote, boozers and losers, is what the doctor described it as.
This guy's like a country singer. He's great.
Boozers and losers is all she hooked up with. Beating the boy till he's just a bad seed. Some sort of ballad of a... criminal coming up. Boozers and losers.
I'm pretty sure Dustin Lynch is a country singer name, too.
It is, actually.
Yeah?
I had a feeling. There is absolutely, I found him, and because I was like, later on when I'm looking stuff up, I'm like, no, he's a popular guy. He's got some like model wife that he's got standing next to. He's a handsome guy. It's ridiculous,
Sings douche country.
The opposite of this guy, though.
Yeah.
Successful and not in trouble all the time.
Dustin Lynch.
Boozers and losers. And
he has an album called Boozers and Losers.
Boozers and losers is all that I know. So it's it. He said that Dustin talked candidly about all the men in his mother's life during several interviews that were used to compile his psychological assessment. Well, he's in juvie there. At one point, Evans says that Lynch seemed to be crying out for help. He said his attitude toward his mother was, quote, why are you dating all these losers and leaving me with them? Don't you know what you're doing to me? Yes. Terrible. That's awful. That's awful. And you feel bad for a kid up until the point that other people are in danger. That's where you feel terrible for a kid. And then you're like, oh, hold on a second here. Now the rest of the herd is in danger. Now we need to separate you at some point and figure out how to fix this shit. So back to Jolynn. Okay, remember Jolynn Mishney here. So it's Jolynn and Dad, who is Merle, Mickey Mishney.
Yeah, right.
Mickey Mishney there. 73 years old here, or whatever, 71 to 73, somewhere in there. Jolynn's 17, and they're all, at the house.
Same house, yeah.
So her father describes Jolynn as, quote, she was an expert in talking to 2 or 3 different people on 2 or 3 different phones at the same time. She's very devoted to her friends.
Holy shit.
Yeah, she's a 17-year-old girl. This is like the typical, she's super social. Did you hear what this one said? Did you do this? Are you going here? She's got a lot of friends. She's popular. She's sweet, nice. Why not?
She keeps it all straight.
Yeah, tons of friends. She does well for herself. So November 2nd, 2002, we come to. Now, Mickey Mishney has to go out of town for the day and run some errands.
Okay.
So he's gone for the day, and he comes home about 5:45 in the evening and walks upstairs and sees Jolynn laying in her room and what he thinks is an attempted suicide.
Oh.
He calls 911 and tells the paramedics, please come here. I think my daughter tried to kill herself. There's a knife sticking out of her abdomen.
Oh, man.
And there's a note sitting next to her. So I'm assuming that that's a suicide note and she tried to kill herself. She's a 17-year-old kid. You never know. Anything could happen. So the paramedics get there and find a kitchen knife protruding from like her sternum area. So, I mean, it was right there. And she is definitely no longer with us here. Yeah, she's passed away once they get there. Now, what happened? Exactly. Well, Jolynn was sleeping in her bed at one point in the morning, and apparently while she was sleeping, she was beaten. Her head was crushed with one of the bedposts from her bed.
Wow.
She was, how heavy a fucking bedpost is?
Yeah.
She was
They're
beaten,
solid wood. Yeah.
Pummeled to absolutely destroyed her head, and then she was stabbed with a knife twice in her abdomen as well, and then the knife left sticking out of her. So it was she was struck 4 times in the head with a 3-foot-long section of bedpost, and then stabbed twice with a kitchen knife. So her father said, when I came home that night, I found my daughter murdered. So that is awful. Quote, she had a 4-poster bed, and the posts were virtually the same length and shape as a baseball bat. Quote, Dustin Lynch took one of the bedposts. Her head had been smashed flat as a pancake.
Oh, my God.
That's what her father said. Her head had been smashed flat as a pancake, and he had to find that.
Oh, my God.
That is fucking horrific. And that's
with a bedpost.
That happened first, smashed her head flat as a pancake. Then Dustin went into the kitchen and got a kitchen knife and stabbed her twice also and left it sticking in her stomach. My. I think the bedpost was plenty, probably.
Yeah,
it
was already done.
If that wasn't bad enough, he then steals her car, takes her car, and so the police are on the hunt for a 1999 Chevy Cavalier, a black one, with a personalized license plate that says 1 Jolynn. So... Okay. If you're going to steal a car, maybe not the one with the personalized license plate with a girl's name on it. That's they're looking for.
The least inconspicuous thing ever.
Jesus Christ. So the autopsy shows that she suffered a head injury from being hit with a blunt object and the stab wound, and they can't even tell which one killed her, basically. It was such a hodgepodge. Either one could have worked, they said. Either one is cause of death. So they're obviously searching for the car. 4 hours go by. 4 fucking hours go by.
Okay.
And I believe that it's finally spotted at 9:40 p.m. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's the same Denny's that she had picked him up.
That he's asking for food at?
Yeah, now he was asking for a place to stay. Now he's there hanging out in her car, driving it, with several other kids in the car, hanging out.
Wow.
They're just hanging out. He went and picked people up and said, yeah, let's go over here. We'll fucking drink some beers.
Boy.
He just went and hung out, bro. He didn't even
He didn't even leave town.
Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So Dad here, Mickey, he's got to feel fucking terrible for letting this kid into the house.
Yeah, it's his fault.
You would think, he found the body, and he, told police that this was a school-aged acquaintance of his daughter, and he stayed there a few days. He told the police, quote, he was here under false pretenses and under a false name. I don't know what name he used, but there we go. Now, the big thing here is we've described him up to this point. Do we try him as an adult or what?
Yes.
Because it happens a month before his 16th birthday. Remember? He was a month shy of that. But at the same time, they're also saying,
can they?
They can go do hearings, but it's not an automatic. So they're wondering, should we, or is there basically, if you put him in the youth system, they have to get rid of him by the time he's 21 if he's sentenced under the youth system. So you only have at this point 4.5 years to deal with him, and then you have to let him go. So it's, can we fix him shiny new and enough to be circulated in society in 4.5 years?
Mrs. Buttersworth, a girl's head. You can't.
That's what I mean. I don't know how you fucking can do this. I don't know what the possibility is, but whatever. So, holy shit. So they said that in this, the prosecutors decide they're going to try to try him as an adult anyway, take it to court and see how it goes. They say that they charged him with causing physical or psychological harm or serious economic harm as a result of the act. They said Jolyn was beaten to death and stabbed to death. Her car was stolen. She suffered severe economic and physical harm. Okay. There you go. They said that the child's relationship with the victim, you talking about both of them there, facilitated the act charged. They said the juvenile is emotionally and psychologically capable of going to the adult system, is what a doctor says. They said he's intelligent and has a correct understanding of the adult criminal process. The psychologist went on to say he's, quote, system savvy. Yeah, he's been in the system a lot.
Yeah, he's familiar.
And then they also say that they don't think there's sufficient time to rehabilitate him within the juvenile system. They say 4.5 years is not enough time to fix what is wrong with Dustin Lynch. That's what the doctor says. The child, they say, has a mental illness, but not one that would deem him criminally irresponsible. But he's obviously has some sort of mental illness. He's diagnosed with conduct disorder, adolescent onset. So there's that.
I don't know what that is. Like
he
penchants for fucking hurting people? Is that all that is?
Kind of. It seems very like an umbrella, kind of an umbrella term. Like, we'll figure out what it is as it gets more pronounced as he's an adult. We'll kind of get a better.
There's specific things under that umbrella.
Yeah, definitely get a better deal on it and a better shot with it. They said that the doctor explained that its condition is technically a mental illness, but it does not involve psychosis or delusional thinking. So legally you're sane, but you're also nuts at the same time. So they said if the murder and robbery had occurred a month later, he would have been 16, and he would immediately have been transferred to the adult court based on the severity of the charges. Right. But that way he could be sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 30 years. That's if he's tried as an adult. Right. So along with 7 felony charges, they filed the motion to have him tried as an adult. The prosecutor said, I believe the seriousness of the crime calls out for it. He's charged with 2 counts of aggravated murder, 1 count with an aggravated robbery specification, and 1 with a specification for premeditation, 2 counts of aggravated robbery, felonious assault, theft, and murder. So a lot of stuff going on there for him. Mm-hmm. They said that they filed multiple charges to give the judge the most alternatives or the jury the most alternatives that here's the case. So that way they won't go, it's either first-degree murder or we let him walk type of thing. Yeah. So makes sense. So in court, where they're trying to figure it out, he's portrayed by the defense as a child who felt thrown away by his mother and father. His psychologist said he's been born into a bad life and it's never really been any different. Yeah, they had a packed courtroom there. They were saying that, the psychologist's assessment followed 2 days of detailed testimony about Dustin's continual problems with drugs, alcohol, and sex, beginning at age 12 when he started drugs, alcohol, and sex. Right. He got right into it. Like sex, drugs, and rock and roll took over at 12 for him. Like
wild.
He's basically Tommy Lee, but violent. Yeah. He's like Tommy Lee, but with no musical talent. If only he could bang on them drums, man, he would have had a much different life.
He's been doing great.
Oh, my God. Maybe a giant cock, too. That might have helped him. I'm not sure about that. So
certainly helps.
It doesn't hurt. We'll put it that way. So
well, not him.
Not this guy. So The psychologist here, he's the director of the Cuyahoga County Juvenile Court Diagnostic Center in Cleveland. He said that it was definitely his upbringing that's to blame for his behavior. He testified for more than 2 hours and described Dustin as chronically angry with no trust in authority and no sympathy for anyone. Okay. That's a psychopath, is what he just described. Yeah. That is a dangerous adult when he's an adult.
Right. That's
dangerous
a person that is going to be way worse.
It's absolutely. Evans, the psychologist, said, how can you feel that for somebody else when no one has that for him? That's what causes that, he's saying. He just feels like he's been thrown away by his mom and dad. The whole time his mom is sitting in the courtroom, by the way, Geraldine Thomas.
Ouch.
Back of the courtroom, throughout the whole thing, she left the courtroom in tears during his testimony.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And she refused to comment on anything. So they asked this Evans, the psychologist, if he had ever had a case in which a juvenile charged with murder has had as many developmental problems as Dustin Lynch. And the guy went on to say, among the 700 to 800 psychological evaluations of juveniles that he's done during his career, he told the judge that Lynch is, quote, up there. He's in the top 5.
Oh, boy.
Of fucked up kids. So that's bad.
Top 5.
Top 5 of the guy who works with all the kids who are fucked up from that county. Or whatever.
Every day there's another kid, and he's top 5.
Top 5 out of 800. That's not bad. He's a valedictorian, for Christ's sake.
It's pretty good.
He's the valedictorian of terrible childhood. Perfect. Good for him. So, that's awful. So they also said that he's top 5 most disturbed, and he said that, in his opinion, that Lynch was too serious a risk to the community and should be tried as an adult. That's what he thought. They said that the psychologist said that although he theoretically could be rehabilitated, the judge said the state of Ohio is not willing to gamble on the theoretic, probably.
Thank you, sir.
So the closing plea from his attorney cited several passages from Lynch's personal journal in his request to have the case remain in juvenile court. In one of the passages, this is the can someone diagnose me so I can live another day? We have the whole thing down here. He's talking. He's writing like poems about I'm fucked up but I want to be better type of thing.
Begging for help.
The guy here, the defense attorney, pointed out to an earlier testimony from 2 caseworkers and a social worker who said that when Lynch did receive meaningful help in the juvenile system, he seemed to cooperate and be open to treatment. So the lawyer said if this juvenile were placed in an adult setting, it would be like throwing him to the wolves.
Yeah, I would say so.
So the judge here, he says that Lynch's long unsuccessful history with the juvenile justice system, his poor family upbringing, he said that no juvenile sanction has deterred Lynch from progressively worse behavior. He went from being a wayward truant to committing misdemeanors to committing felony theft of a family minivan, he even put in there, in March 2002, to the alleged murder of a helpless girl now. The judge also directed his harshest criticism at Lynch's mother, who was sitting in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Quote, his mother is an ineffective parent. That's from a judge.
Yeah.
He said, ineffective parent, end of fucking gavelled that shit. Like,
who are you to say it? A literal judge, that's who. Who are you to judge me?
Yeah, a judge. I have this gavel. In the state transcripts, it lists her as ineffectual parent. That's not good. The male influences in the juvenile's life were his mother's many husbands and boyfriends. These men, with the exception of the current husband, were abusive and demeaning. That's what from before there. So they said the factors were so overwhelming that the decision's not even a close call. He said, it's not even close. They said the evidence favoring transfer is sufficient, strong, and compelling. The evidence favoring retention is speculative, scant, and weak.
Yeah.
They're sending him to the adult system. They said this is not a close case. Dustin Lynch is angry, asocial, brutal, and self-absorbed. He will be a threat to the community long after his 21st birthday.
Thanks, Mom.
Jesus, and his mom had to, thus, the court finds that this juvenile is not amenable to care or rehabilitation within the juvenile system, and the safety of the community may require that the child be subject to adult sanctions.
Wow.
It's ordered and decreed that jurisdiction of this case be hereby transferred to the General Division of Court of Common Pleas. So there you go. They say here, it is ordered and decreed also that bail in this matter is hereby set at $1 million.
Holy.
Yeah, absolutely. They said the boy shall be confined in a manner that keeps him beyond the range of touch of all adult detainees. So they're saying they're not going to put him in Gen Pop in the county jail. Right. He's going to be by himself, but whatever. He shall be supervised at all times during the detention is also what they decree. So
he's sure going to hear it.
Oh, he's going to hear a lot. Yeah. So Dustin's mom said that she thinks he made everything up in his journals. She doesn't think any of it's true. So it's all bullshit. None of this is very true. She said her son is very intelligent, artistic, and he's a creative storyteller.
What?
Yeah, he's very creative. The most creative thing was, hey, what can I fucking beat a girl's brains in with? How about a bedpost? That's pretty creative, right? That's creative.
Big and deep, yeah.
It's not good, but it's creative. You have to give... What the fuck are you talking about? The violent passages in the journal, she said, were just silly, juvenile braggadocio. Oh, you know, like those nice clown boys that make those record albums out there. Just juvenile. She also said that Dustin had a definite purpose in his mind when one of the journals was found by corrections officers after his first suicide attempt. He said, quote, she said, I think the first journal was found because he intended someone to find it. I think he desperately wanted help.
Whether or not he wants it, he's not utilizing it.
That's the problem. She said that the first time she learned about the head gash writing crazy shit in the floor with his own blood stuff was in court. She said, I never even knew about that. She said that she learned about it in court. She said, I felt like a bomb went off inside me in the courtroom. Now they're pointing fingers at me, trying to say I'm a bad mom. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go ahead.
You don't know is kind of bad mom territory.
If your kid's 14 and doing this, in my opinion, you're a bad mom. His dad's a bad dad, and anyone else that's ever had contact with him is probably not good at being around children as well.
And if you don't know it, you're also continuing to be a bad mom. You did this, and you don't know what he's doing?
Now they're pointing fingers at me, trying to say I'm a bad mom. Your kid was drinking and doing drugs and fucking at 12. Right. That's lack of supervision at that point. That's what that is. But how am I supposed to address? And the father's not even there, so let's not let him off the hook either. Both of you suck.
Right.
Both. Anybody who had any fucking biological part in this kid is a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
So, but how am I supposed to address the issues when they're withholding this stuff from me? It's too late at that point, stupid. That's the point. You should have noticed shit fucking 5 years ago. It's
not her job to fix it now.
No.
The people that are fixing it are in charge, and they're doing it.
Now it's out of your hands because you fucking didn't. You let it get to this point.
Yeah.
So the point of she, the mother, disputed the testimony of the court-appointed psychologist. Also, she said that they said he had battled chronic course of depression since an early age and felt thrown away. And she said that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. She said her son has a loving relationship with her and he has bonded with her new husband. And as proof, she produced a letter that her son sent to her from the county jail. And he addressed it Mom and Dad.
Well, yeah, that's the guy that's his dad.
And drew hearts around the words. And he also wrote his name on the return address as Justin Lynch Thomas, which is that guy's last name. So that's now. He's good now, is what you're saying.
He's also pandering to Mom for her affection and attention. So
he also bashed a girl's skull in and stabbed her twice. So we're beyond the point of giving a fuck who you want your daddy to be. I don't care anymore.
The hearts are fucking creepy at this point. I wouldn't call that loving. That's fucking weird.
That's disturbing. So his mother here defended her, saying that the juvenile justice system should have listened when he asked for help, but no one did. She said even now, she says of her visits at county jail, he's saying he's having a hard time concentrating. He sees fireflies. He hears people talking and there's nobody there. Okay, well, that's another mental now you're in another separate mental issue that you need to deal with.
Right.
Now you're seeing things and fucking hearing things. So now you're having auditory hallucinations. That's a problem. He has trouble sleeping, all kinds of stuff, and nobody will address that. He's sitting there doing absolutely nothing. You just described jail. that sentence. He has trouble sleeping. It's loud in jail.
He allegedly murdered somebody. He needs to sit with his thoughts until we can sort this out.
Yeah, we're going to have to go through everything. We're going to have to give him a little time out on the side here.
And it's going to take a minute because these are complicated cases, Ma.
No shit. She said he's not allowed to get counseling. He wants to go to church, but he's not allowed to, and that's wrong. People are totally forgetting he's a 16-year-old boy that he needs and that he needs counseling.
Okay, nobody's forgetting that.
No one's forgetting it.
We all remember it very well.
It's all over the place. It's written on the wall in his own blood. We get it, and probably fecal matter by now.
Yeah.
So enter Dustin's guy who wants to be Dustin's lawyer here.
Okay.
And the family wants him for a minute. We'll talk about it. This is a guy named Jack Thompson.
Yeah.
Now, he has a whole different take on this case, okay? He knows why Dustin murdered.
He knows?
Joe Lynn. He understands it, and it has nothing to do with his terrible upbringing. It has nothing to do with his mom and abusive husbands and being left out to go nowhere and the system not helping him. All of that's all fine, and I'm sure that's in the stew, but the main meat of the stew is Grand Theft Auto 3.
Oh, really?
That's what did it. That's what did this? That's the sole reason why he did it. He wants to
lean on video games.
He was a loving, wonderful child and student of life until he sat down with Grand Theft Auto 3 and it turned him into a raving psychotic monster. That's literally what he says.
Rockstar Games.
Wow. Thank fuck he didn't get to Vice City. He would have killed 50 people. He would have been Ted Bundy if he got to San Andreas. Forget about it. Holy shit. This guy. Anyway, let's get into Jack Thompson, because I got to be careful what I say because he is an attorney at this point. But I can say I think he's a gigantic gaping asshole, because that's just my opinion. I mean, obviously he's not a real gaping asshole, but
if he was, it would have lots of hair around it and shit stuck in it.
Dingleberries, afoot everywhere,
tons of it,
tons of them. Yeah. He is a dingleberry of a human.
Gaping, unwiped asshole.
Yes, in our humble comedic opinions, satirical comedic opinions. So I mean, if you add all that together, you can fuck yourself, Jack.
How could he take that approach?
Oh, don't worry, he's done more than that. This is this is like his 10th battle he's fought. We'll talk about a few of them here. One of them you'll be very familiar with. Okay. So he advised the Mishney family on, first of all. Yeah, this is fucking crazy. He had advised the Mishneys, so the victim's family, and also wanted to represent Lynch.
Why is he so involved in this?
Because this is how he grandstands by fucking going, video games are bad. So he's like, you can't advise one family and then represent the defense. You can't do that. That doesn't work. So
it's not our fault you're bad at video games, Jack.
Yeah, and this is according to the county prosecutor, Dean Holman. He said that. He said that he, quote, may be faced with deeply conflicting interests if he were to represent Dustin Lynch. Yeah. Lynch recently entered a written appeal of not guilty by reason of insanity through his second court-appointed lawyer. Now he's insane, by the way. That's his new thing, and that goes right in hand with GTA. So they found him competent to assist in his own defense, though. And the judge said, Dustin Lynch is going to want to say something, and I'm going to want to listen to him. Oh, boy. Now, the competency hearing was held up for weeks while they awaited a psychological evaluation and at a psychodiagnostic center.
Oh, those are so fun.
If you're sent to the psychodiagnostic center, that's just not great for your ego to hear those words together. What kind of a psychopath am I? Diagnose me. That just sounds terrible. I'm a psycho. I guess I'm getting diagnosed now. It's just a bad sign to see when you walk into a building, even though it has many meanings, obviously. Still. So after that, the judge said he's going to rule on the motion for the lawyer and all this shit. So Thompson is a lawyer from Coral Gables, and Lynch
Florida?
and his exactly. Yeah. Lynch, he has nothing to do with this except for that he thinks GTA, and both Dustin and his mother want this guy. He has made a name for himself on a crusade against video games, and first it was video game. Now it's video games, but it wasn't always video games. They said that. He said that he has taken this position because he doesn't want other parents to experience what he and Jolynn Mishney's mother will be enduring for the rest of our lives. So, His other projects were, first of all, the Ice-T Cop Killer thing, his song.
Stop it.
He was involved in that. He was one of the guys who brought Two Live Crew to national prominence.
Because he wanted the labels on their music?
Oh, he wanted them fucking thrown in jail and, stripped of their, everything. So, but what he did was make them famous. That's all that did. So he came to national prominence. This is how he got famous, too, Thompson, over Two Live Crew's Nasty As They Wanna Be album. And, on January 1st, 1990, he wrote to federal investigators and to investigate whether the album violated Florida's obscenity laws. And the state prosecutor declined to proceed with an investigation. So then he pushed local officials in various parts of the state to block sales of the album, along with NWA's Straight Outta Compton.
Wow. Did he get a kickback for making those so famous?
No shit. It's that thing that Eazy-E said in the movie, the fucking where they're crushing all the tapes and CDs, and he goes, they fucking paid for them, do whatever they want with them.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, that's what I say. People get mad at us or something on the show. I'm like, you listen, motherfucker. That's I'll lick the finger. That's a fucking listen. So I don't really give a shit. You can say what you want about it once you listen to it. So in sending documents to his opponents, Thompson would frequently attach a photocopy of his driver's license with a photo of Batman pasted over his photo.
Oh, so
like,
he thinks he's
I'm Batman. Yeah, he thinks he's cool. He said, I've sent my opponents pictures of Batman to remind them I'm playing the role of Batman.
To remind them?
To remind them that I'm playing the role of Batman. What are you, fucking 12? What's going on here? I'm cosplaying in court. It's fun. Just like he says, then he goes on to say more embarrassing shit here in this quote. So, to remind them I'm playing the role of Batman, period. Just like Bruce Wayne helped the police in the movie, I have had to assist the sheriff of Broward County.
Oh, boy.
He also wears a Batman wristwatch.
Stop it.
He thinks he's fucking Batman.
He's 11 years old.
His office has tons of Batman shit in it. You know it. And
he's got a Batmobile. It's on the shelf.
His wife's eyes are broken from rolling so hard. They don't work. They're googly.
They just spin. Yeah.
They spin like a broken slot machine. So he also compared he compared Luther Campbell, the fucking lead guy in Two Live Crew, to the Joker.
Wow.
Who was killing people in the movie, in the Batman movie. He said, quote, I understand as well as anybody that the First Amendment is a cornerstone of free speech, but there's a responsibility to people who can be harmed by words and thoughts, one of which is the message from Campbell that women can be sexually abused. Well, yeah, you shouldn't have sexually abused women, but if you want to say crazy shit in a song, that's art. If you want to draw a crazy picture, it's the same shit.
Right.
When people go crazy when someone, don't cover up a picture, that's art. Well, so's a fucking song. Whether you like it or not, no one has to listen to it.
Michelangelo put a cock on a statue.
Cocks on everything. There's cocks everywhere.
Yeah.
At your fucking hotel in Louisville that one time, cocks were everywhere. Baby penises.
Giant baby dicks.
Giant golden baby penises were
all
right by your fucking head when you're standing somewhere. What the hell are you talking about? So in 2004, he helped get Howard Stern's show taken off a radio station in Orlando, Florida.
Pig.
I'm sure Howard has discussed him, and you've probably heard it before because that's when you used to listen to him all the time.
Yeah.
By filing a complaint with the FCC, he objected to Stern's use of perceived obscenities on the air. Perceived obscenities? What the fuck does that
mean? I remember this. It was when he would say things like duty or... He wouldn't say the word. He would make a new word for it, and then...
Okay, well, that's not illegal.
It's not illegal. It's not obscene. It's not... Right.
There's words that you're not allowed to say.
Yeah.
And we know what those are. George Carlin told us very well.
We're very well aware
the rest of the shit, until you make a rule about it, I'm saying it.
So he was making up words, so he got upset.
Jesus. Remember the Chappelle show back in the day when he came on? He goes, watch this shit. They don't know what words mean yet, some words. He goes, watch this. Skeet, skeet, skeet. They don't know shit. He goes, they don't know what that means. He's like, I could say that. They won't beep it because they don't know yet.
That's what Howard was doing.
That's what he's doing. So that was in 2003 or some shit with Chappelle. Same time period. He said that the use of perceived obscenities on the air, he argued that, quote, either broadcasters will accept the light harness of decency that has been the law for decades and start cleaning up their acts, or the public's deepening outrage will foster a more fearsome government response.
Public?
Shut the you. That's what that means.
Nobody cares, sir.
Nobody gives a shit. It's not fucking don't listen. So they're not fomenting like a Nazi revolution or something. No. They're talking bullshit. It's just dirty jokes.
They're talking about current events and then giving opinions with other words that because you, sir, have taken the word fuck off the radio.
Jesus Christ. He claimed to have received death threats from listeners of Stern's show. That doesn't surprise me. Right. He said, quote, noting that, quote, you'd expect that considering the IQ of people who listen to Howard Stern.
How dare you?
Apparently, they fail to realize that I might have caller ID. Or they didn't give a shit, probably, is the other thing.
That's what it is, sir. We don't care.
You've pissed them off to the point where they were mad at you.
We'll say it to your face. That's what it is.
Somebody said, this gets me through half my fucking work day.
Right.
Working, putting fucking drywall up, and you've taken it from me in the hot Orlando sun.
Right.
I'm working in Orlando doing roofing. This is all I have, and you took it.
Who cares if a woman's sitting on a vibrator in the studio? Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I would like people to be treated well, but if this woman wants to sit on a vibrator in the studio...
She came in to sit on it.
I don't know.
And made noise for us, and it was funny. Fuck you.
No matter what, it's not this fucking Thompson's business. Shut up and go away.
Don't like it?
It's not hurting me personally, but... It hurts someone, and I'm going to put an end to it. Like
I'm so mad everybody's being forced to listen to Howard.
So he completely pushes this Grand Theft Auto 3 defense and gets the Mishneys. I mean, he gets them raving about it to where that's what they're locked in on it for a while. Yeah. They really are. Mishney, the father, said, quote, I was as ignorant as other parents. A video game to me was Pac-Man.
Yeah, and he was bad at it.
Yeah, so then they go on in this article. Well, I'll just read this. Quote, Grand Theft Auto 3 is a far cry from that. The adult-rated Grand Theft Auto 3 was the number 2 best video game seller of last year. 13 million units of this game and its successor, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, have been sold worldwide.
Yeah, because we like it.
Because it's fucking fun. Many watchdog groups find the video games repugnant because of their graphic action, beating old women, throwing bombs at police, and having sex with and then killing prostitutes. Yes, that is beating. It's not just beating old women, though. There's everybody. And if one of the person is an old woman, that's whatever. But I don't remember a lot of old women in that game.
I think they were just more pedestrians, and you can run them over and stuff.
Yeah, the pedestrians, but they were usually not old women. Anyway, blood spurts from blasted heads, cars clash in fiery crashes, pedestrians are run over and killed amid spectacular graphics and screams, thuds, and screeches. Yeah, you just described a comic book movie also. Right. And... You know what I'm saying? So shut the fuck up. That's
you
what
like
is.
Batman, bro.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you think happens in Batman?
The very beginning of the one with Michael Keaton, they kill his parents in front of a child. That's not traumatic for a kid? How would you like it if your mom and dad got killed in front of you? Oh, that's not traumatic. But 2 Live Crew is traumatic because some girl shaking her ass and someone sprayed a hose on it. Who cares?
Every comic book hero has citizens dying. That's what justifies the hero.
That's what it is. So he then it says, quote, your character is a bank robber in Liberty City who escapes from police, and you can do whatever you want, including everything that moves. That's from PC Magazine. Yeah. They're using that as, see, that's how they advertise. Okay. They made no comment, GTA 3, but the Daphne White, the head of the Lion and Lamb Project in Bethesda, Maryland, is horrified that violent video games find their way into the hands of teens. In the case of GTA 3, quote, it's not even a case of good guy versus bad guy. You're working for the mob. You're a bad guy yourself. This is past, it's 2003 now. We're into high-speed internet times. Right. The doors are blown open, whether it's a video game or you cannot control content. You have to make a person who understands that and can shield it out. You can't control, you can't shield anymore from them.
The amount of porn that's available at this
that's
time.
What I mean.
Forget the violence. The amount of you're gonna
and violent porn if you want. Right. There's all that shit is out there if you're that age and you had a
cartoon murder. Who cares? There's real life beating of women and sex. It's crazy what's in pornography.
No shit. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So the father here, Mickey Mishney, he said he didn't even know that Dustin was a big fan of GTA 3. Why the fuck would a 70-year-old man knows what game a 15-year-old kid plays who's been in his house for 2 days?
Why does a 71-year-old man even know what Grand Theft Auto is?
Yeah, what now? Grand Theft? What the hell are you talking about? Jesus Christ. When I was younger, everybody fought Hitler, and they came home, and some of them were fucked up, and some of them weren't. I don't know what the hell is going on with people. Some of them are messed up. He says that he didn't even know about it until he got a call from Jack Thompson, the Miami attorney who specializes in video games. He said that, he saw that. Thompson said, if you're trying to make sense of what happened to your daughter, this is part of it, or this may be part of it. Okay. Now, his evidence comes from a neighbor, Adam Kiselowitz, who at the time of the death was staying at the house next door where she would go over and do homework and he'd play GTA 3. He said that Dustin played GTA 3 for 3 or 4 hours at a time in his presence. Yeah. Shit's engrossing. Yeah. And you put it down and you can just stop it for a minute. It's, quote, he was really good at it. He really got into it. It was crazy.
Okay.
You've just described everyone I've ever sat and played GTA with for 5 minutes.
It's not a hard game.
No, and you hand it to someone, you're like, oh, I can do all this stuff, and they're super into it, and... Yeah, it was crazy.
They made it very user-friendly and easy to do.
No shit. This guy said that GTA was just a game to me at 22, obviously, but he thinks maybe it could have affected the less mature Dustin Lynch. And also, Thompson said that, I believe it's Thompson that says it might be the other guy, says that Lynch's weapons of choice in the video game were baseball bats and knives, similar to what happened to Joe Lynn. That's a stretch, man. That's a big stretch. But Mickey, the father, he said that he's convinced that Dustin killed his daughter and that violent video games pushed him over the edge. He said, there are kids out there who are learning how to kill from video games. What's it going to take for the world to wake up? He then said, these people are accomplices by my standards.
Oh, no.
Yeah, calm down, Mick. I understand you're hurting your daughter's dead.
Yeah.
That's horrible, and I totally get it, but chill the fuck out on that. I get it. It's a lot of grief talking, and you're looking for an answer, and you're 71, so you don't really understand. This guy was born in 1932. He doesn't understand this sort of thing and how it works. So Thompson said, "We're not arguing the game was the sole cause of Jolynn's murder, but the game had something to do with it. Until you have seen these games, you can't really imagine what they're like." That's Mishney. And then Mickey said, "You get points for killing. You stop a police car, you pull the police officer out, then you beat him over the head with his own nightstick until he dies and blood spurts all over. You hear the sound of people in agony. You can shoot people. You get extra points if you beat them over the head and kill them with a baseball bat. You can have sex with a prostitute, and then you beat her over the head until she's dead, and then you take your money back so you can get extra points. Nice life training, isn't it?" That was Lynch's favorite way of scoring points in the game.
Okay.
He then said, "We have sworn testimony about how he played the game. He was totally obsessed. He didn't eat or drink. He didn't take his mind off it or focus off it. He just played the game." Then he also said that he had been taken off of Paxil, and he said the combination of going off Paxil and being influenced by this video game made him a killer. Anyone who got in his way, it could have been anyone. It ended up being Jolynn. I say anyone would be looking for answers at this point, and I feel for the guy, but I think he's
grasping.
Your brain tries to make things make sense, and this is he's filled in these little grooves in the track with this stuff, and is like, okay, that makes the wheels stick to the track, and everything's fine. Okay, works for me, and I totally understand the grief the guy's suffering is obviously unimaginably horrible. So
it's so heavy,
especially in your own house with a person that you let in and you weren't there to stop it. As a father, you'd feel like a horrible person. For sure. I would anyway. So not that he is a horrible person, just that's how you'd feel. The case brought together Mishney and Thompson here, and they are all, he's trying to get permission to defend Dustin Lynch. That's what it is here. He said it's a platform for him to draw attention to the possible connection between video games and violence. So that's amazing, though. He's crusading with the victim's father while trying to represent the defendant.
Right.
Is he like, what the fuck? Has he been hit in the head or something? What is happening here? So
all it's going to do is cloud this whole thing, too. It's not helping.
No, it's ridiculous. Mishney said there are parents out there who don't realize their kids have these violent video games or understand the seriousness of them. There are kids out there who don't realize that they're in training to become killers. What the hell is it going to take for this country to wake up and outlaw these games? They are outlawed in Australia, Germany, Brazil, and 4 other countries. This is absolutely a killing epidemic, and it's going to get worse. That's what he said. Now, that's Mishney. Thompson says that more and more violence will be traced back to video games. Then he says the most amazing line I've ever fucking heard, and he proves everybody else's point. Quote, "I've gotten to the point now that I'm stunned how few of these incidents there are rather than how many of them." It's almost like there's no correlation between the two.
Yeah, I'm really upset about it. Yeah.
It's almost like that doesn't cause that. It's weird, right?
Right. 1992, Mortal Kombat was... It's such a big deal. They made a fucking movie about it. I've never seen Vice City, the movie. You know what I mean?
Thompson was in that, too. He was involved with that, with the Mortal Kombat shit, too. Yeah, this has been his life since Two Life Crew. So since like 89, this is all he's fucking done.
He's so mad that we don't want to be fucking leave it to Beaver.
This is ridiculous. Like, to say... this causes this. It's an epidemic. Then to say, I'm stunned how few of these incidents there are. You just proved it.
Yeah. There's no epidemic.
I'm stunned the data doesn't back up my hypothesis, but I guess I'm still right. That's what he just said.
I'm going to run with it.
Yeah. I did the experiment. Didn't bear out what I thought, but I'm going to go with the experiment's wrong, not me. Like, that's think about that.
Yeah.
What the fucking mental state of someone is that says that.
Which guy is mentally disturbed here? Is it Dustin or is it this fucking lawyer?
I think it's this guy who, in my opinion, gets a fucking raging hard-on every time some teenage kid gets killed and played a video game, because then he can go stand up there in fucking Ohio, 10 states from him, to say, I should be representing everybody, the victims, the defendant, because violent video games. Sorry, motherfucker, this isn't your grandstand. This is about a dead teenage girl, not you fucking asshole. Go back to Florida, you shitbag. Don't worry, I have more on him later. So he said these games are M-rated, which means by definition they're harmful or a parent should consider them inappropriate for anyone under 17. Why have they been labeled inappropriate? Because they're harmful. The tendency is to bring what you learn in the games into the three-dimensional world. You develop skills and techniques and scenarios on how to kill, and there's that blurring of reality and fantasy because of how the games affect the brains of young people. In the game, all the people you have killed come right back. You turn it off and restart it, everybody's alive again. And if the killer gets killed, it stops the game. So you stop and restart, and everybody's alive again. You and we understand, but these kids can't draw the line between reality and fantasy. It's blurry to them. You and I know that if we get shot in the head, we're not coming back. Joe Lynn isn't coming back. But these kids don't know it because they've been brainwashed. We're losing young people for the sake of an $11 billion a year industry. It's all about money. The people in the industry don't care about one kid in Wellsboro or one kid in Medina. They sold 20 million of these Grand Theft Auto games, and they want to sell more. And somebody's got to take a stand to stop them.
It's going to be me, because I'm Batman.
Because I am Batman. He's fucking boy. Batman. So he's a complete douchebag in my humble comedic opinion here. After I'm surprised that it hasn't actually, gone the way I thought it would. Yeah. Surprised that more people don't do this. By the way, everybody does this. That's what he did. I'm going to contradict what I said here. So it's ridiculous. Again, Rockstar Games, they've said they're not even commenting on it. Right. So during his hearing, the judge barely mentions Grand Theft Auto because in reality, that's a stupid thing to say.
Yes.
So they barely mention it. So Mickey, the father, said he's deeply disappointed by the judge not talking about Grand Theft Auto and making that the whole crux of the case. He said he was not only upset with the judge, but he was also upset with Lynch's court-appointed lawyer because he didn't bring it up either. You're the father of the victim. You don't get to tell the defense how they're going to run their case. That's the other thing.
Don't tell anybody how to run the case.
Yeah, I understand you want to, but this isn't. Now it's a legal matter. He said, quote, it's as if they were overlooking a murder weapon.
What?
A murder weapon. Grand Theft Auto 3. Now, eventually, Thompson's out of here because Lynch himself, Dustin, eventually rejects his offer and withdraws his insanity plea as well. Mm-hmm. He's tired of the bullshit. Even he's tired of the bullshit of this guy. That's crazy. So Lynch's mother, Geraldine Thomas, who previously demanded that the judge appoint Thompson to defend her son, said she changed her mind after visiting with her son in jail. Then she came out of jail saying, remember her whole thing, these video games, it's the worst thing. Yeah. She came out and said, quote, it has nothing to do with video games or Paxil, and my son's no murderer. That's her new comment.
Oh, ma.
He didn't even do it, and it had nothing to do with nothing. So.
Oh. Boy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. By the way, Thompson's eventually disbarred in Florida.
Of course he is.
Yeah, we'll talk about what happened there. But in 2003, as Dustin's murder trial approached, Dustin Lynch began sending taunting, blood-stained letters to prosecutors, witnesses, victims. Oh, yeah. He sent one to Merle Mishney, sent one to Mickey, the victim's father.
He is the Joker.
Yeah, that's what he thinks he is, blaming Mickey for his daughter's death by letting him stay there.
Oh, so God.
He knows that's going to
put
put salt on his wound, and that's what he's going to do. A judge overseeing the case here ordered that his blood be tested after police said he sent a series of blood-stained letters to these people involved in the case. They're going to test his blood to make sure it matches up. Mm-hmm. Mishney said Monday that the 4-page letter he received should not be taken seriously despite its many threats and graphic descriptions of the killing. He sent that to the victim's father. He said, don't even take it seriously. Nothing will happen. Wow. He said in the letter he sent to me that obviously there's a big confession in there. He's describing graphically how he did this. The letter was handwritten on lined paper, and it was signed by Lynch and had a fingerprint of blood.
Yikes.
So you know it's him. The judge also ordered that they test his blood for hepatitis, HIV, and other sexually transmitted diseases, just in case, since he's sending it to people.
Right, yeah.
Let's not have him send biohazard through the prison mail, please.
Yeah, that could be attempted murder too, right?
Something. It's at least being a fucking scumbag, even worse than before. So here's his story. When asked why he killed Jolynn, what do you think? Not a video game or my life. He says, quote, I killed Jolynn for my own personal satisfaction.
Of killing somebody?
Quote, I yearn to see blood. It's a need or addiction, and it's also a fetish. I'm just obsessed with it all.
Okay, let's lock him up forever.
He's a sick motherfucker who's going to go out and Ted Bundy the shit out of people when he's done. This is what he is. Future Ted Bundy is what he is right here. Not sophisticated enough to put the murder with sexuality yet when he was killing, but that's what it is. In 5 years, he would have taken her somewhere and done awful things to her, then killed her probably the way he is. So, wow. He thought he could possibly. Even though it could he said he could possibly benefit from claiming that he was a victim of the video game. He said that's not what it is. He goes, I know that I should say that, but it's bullshit. He says, quote, old man Mishny, that's just, I love anyone being
to say.
Old man somebody, which he is in his 70s, so that's fair. Old man Mishny and whomever else believes that GTA 3 influenced me to brutally kill Jolynn, they are all idiots, exclamation point. He said, quote, I killed Jolynn for my own personal satisfaction, not because of a video game. And then he said, quote, he did her a favor by doing it.
Oh, boy.
He said, I did her a favor and satisfied all my needs at the same time while doing it.
Yuck.
Everybody wins. Wow. He says that he began thinking about murder at an early age. Quote, ever since I was 6 years old, I've wanted to kill someone. He'll go on later on, by the way, to claim that he's killed 35 people, but there's I think that's just for prison. There's no evidence of any of that shit. He's too young to be doing that. Then he said, quote, the only people I care about is Adolf Hitler and myself.
Oh, boy.
Heil the Führer, Hitler is God.
Oh, boy.
Please, nobody isolate that. That's from a young murderer.
Heil Hitler.
Heil the Führer, Hitler is God. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how he signed it. That's how he signed his letter. The only people I care about is Hitler and myself.
Oh, boy.
Heil the Führer, Hitler is God. That's comically asinine. That's springtime for Hitler level silly. Like,
it's just ridiculous.
That's fucking wow. What an asshole. So he says also he's not afraid of prison. He does hope that he wants to get his GED while he's in there so he can write a book. That's his main goal, because we all need to hear what's in this asshole's mind.
Please tell me. Yeah.
He says, though, I'm not afraid of shit. He says, quote, I might be small, but I know how to handle my business. I'm a lynch. It runs through our blood, just like jail. This is bad. He's a Boone County resident. He's one of the whites, is what he is.
This is what we do.
Yeah, he says that eventually he'd like to be executed. That's his goal, for the state to execute him.
You're working on it, yeah.
He said, when my book is complete and I'm ready, I'm going to kill someone else so that I can get the death penalty. I took so many lives, and I'm just curious to know what it's like to be dead. Is there an afterlife, etc.? All that. I want to die by lethal injection. I think that's better than any other method. Example, killing myself or some other horrible death. End quote. He really thinks about this. His mother says that the past 2 months in jail, while all this is going on, he's attempted suicide at the jail, refused to cooperate with his attorney, and wrote incriminating letters to Mickey Mishny. And he's also stopped communicating with his mother. So then, asked if he was disturbed, he wrote to a publication, quote, I am not disturbed at all capital letters, which is the most disturbing way you can say anything. I am not disturbed at all is like, whoa, that guy's super disturbed.
That's what somebody disturbed would say.
Man, I said I have certain needs, desires, and a fetish. Cutting myself is a fetish. I feel so powerful when I do it, kind of like I'm on coke.
Yeah. How dare you kink shame me?
Wow, no shit. Jesus Christ. Cutting myself is a fetish. That's fine. I feel you can cut yourself as a fetish, I guess. I feel so powerful when I do it. Kind of like I'm on coke. That's an adrenaline rush of pain, of your covering the pain in your body, that your body's response. Each slice I take is like hooting another line, exclamation point. Hooting. I'm fascinated by the sight of blood, and when I'm locked up the way I am, the only blood I can get is my own. Oh, Jesus. December 2003, he changes his plea to guilty.
Yeah?
Says, fuck it, for the murder.
No, I mean, why does he do that?
Because he doesn't give a fuck anymore, he said. He offered no explanation why he did this. When the judge asked him whether he had anything to say before sentencing, he said, quote, nope.
Nope.
No. Lynch's attorney said he was opposed to the plea. He said that Lynch insisted he wanted to plead guilty to a single count of aggravated murder, which carries life in prison with no chance of parole for 20 years, in exchange for other charges being dropped. That's what he wanted. So the judge says, you, sir, may fuck off, enjoy life without parole for at least 20 years.
Wow.
Have fun. So that's what he gets. Well, the judge rejected that, though. Rejected his other shit.
Guilty, yeah.
And so, no, he kept his guilty. He gave him that. Citing Lynch's violent history, diagnosis of antisocial personality, and his behavioral record in prison, and in addition to the maximum prison sentence, also ordered Lynch to pay the maximum fine of $25,000, something he said Lynch may be able to one day do if he finds a way to profit from the story of his crimes, as he once said he would.
Yes.
So he said, quote, this is not a free license for you to go back to the prison system and act with total disregard for any of your cellmates, because if that's the case, you'll be brought back to another court and sentenced again, and eventually you'll run out of opportunities to have any interaction with anybody else in any community.
There you go.
You stack those 20 years.
Everybody, yeah.
That's it. So, yeah, don't go in there going, fuck it, I got life. I'm going to be crazy in jail now. So he could not have faced the death penalty because he was only 15 when the crime was committed.
Okay.
So that's the law there. So before this happened, the plea, the judge was at the judge. I can't even speak. The fucking lawyer. The lawyer. God damn it. His lawyer. I wanted to say the judge and the prosecutor, and it's neither of them. It's his fucking defense attorney. One of these twats with a law degree was prepared to be removed from the case because of Lynch's erratic behavior, which included, all the crazy shit he was doing, including mailing confessions to the victims' families with bloody fingerprints on them, which is goddamn crazy. Now, Jolynn's mother, Lori, she's also here in the courtroom now. That's the ex-wife of Mickey. She's in the courtroom sobbing loudly, and her statement had to be read by somebody else because she was sobbing. She said, I feel not one shred of compassion. I want Lynch to suffer. She's pissed, obviously. Mickey isn't pleased with this as well. He directed his anger at the court system and the prosecutor's office, which he called a joke. He complained that because of prosecutor Dean Holman's eagerness to cut a deal and avoid a trial, he'll never know what motivated Lynch to kill his daughter. He wouldn't have known that from a trial either. He doesn't have to testify.
Yeah, he's not going to tell you.
Yeah, he's not going to. I get that's what you want, and we would all want that, but that doesn't mean you're going to get it. It sucks. June 2004, okay? He's in jail now for at least 20 years, Dustin.
Right. Yeah.
Mickey here, he has allowed his ex-wife, Lori, and her current, I guess, soon-to-be husband, Dan Gordon Johnson, to live with him. Mm-hmm. They are, I guess they lived in Florida, and they were moving back from Ohio to deal with the case. And then there's also the Mishneys are contemplating a lawsuit against the violent video game manufacturers as well. So
going to sue them.
They're all going to hole up here. I guess the Mishneys have, I guess they're still legally married. Mm-hmm. So, but they've been, separated for years. That's how this goes. So, anyway, this is fucking crazy. Johnson, her boyfriend, Lori's boyfriend, has a lengthy criminal record.
Oh, nice.
Including a drunk driving arrest on Christmas Eve that he's got sentenced for 60 days in jail. And then he's got other prior charges as well, felony convictions, all sorts of shit.
Great guy.
Prison. He's been in prison before. Felony convictions, drug trafficking in 92, 2 cases in 94 that included receiving stolen property, theft and forgery, and theft charges in 96 and 1999.
He's doing great.
He's doing terrific. He's a good guy. Good influence.
Great guy.
According to the Florida Department of Corrections, he was released from a Florida prison in June 2002 after serving nearly 2 years for forgery and cocaine possession. He was also convicted of Grand Theft Auto in 1999, but released on
video game.
Exactly, 3. And released on community supervision and did not serve any prison time for that particular offense. So that's who he's invited into his home here.
Terrific, yeah.
They move into his place. It's on Poe Road. This is late March or early April, I believe, 2004 here. And I guess apparently they shared a bedroom on the first floor of the home. That's Laurie and Johnson. That was their bedroom down there. And I guess on May 29th, Johnson and Laurie walked away from their jobs at a McDonald's restaurant in Medina Township. Mm-hmm. They came to town, got a job at McDonald's.
Yeah.
They both left at 7:43 a.m., and within 17 minutes were purchasing crack cocaine at a Medina apartment.
Hell yeah.
They decided to quit and go smoke some crack, okay?
Fuck this place, I'm smoking crack.
Fuck McDonald's. Now, anybody working at McDonald's, that'll make you want to smoke crack probably, I would assume.
I'm sure
but
it will, yeah.
This is fucking crazy. Now, when this started, I'm wondering, why is a 17-year-old girl living with her 73-year-old father? What the fuck is going on?
There you go.
This is what's going on. Because mom's in Florida smoking crack. That's why.
That's why.
With a scumbag. So, Jesus fucking Christ. So they do all of that. They purchase some crack at a Medina apartment. Shortly after the crack purchase, after you smoke crack, you want to stretch your legs out. It's like eating a big meal.
Sometimes it gives you, this I got to be out with the people feeling.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's you get out there, you want your legs to be moving, your mouth to be talking, all this sort of thing. So after that, they walk around for a while and end up at a Medina gun shop where they sell a Mossberg 20-gauge pump-action shotgun belonging to Merle, Mickey, that they stole from him for $125, which will buy you a bunch of crack.
Yeah, well.
So meanwhile, while this is all going on, Mickey Mishney, Jolene's father, has been running errands most of the day and doesn't get home till after 6 o'clock.
Has no idea his 20-gauge pump is gone.
That his 20-gauge pump is gone and that his housemates are on a day-long crack binge. No clue.
Yeah.
So that evening, I guess, he came home, Mickey, and at some point during the evening, Johnson came up behind him and beat him over the head and chest with a jack handle. You put in a jack for it.
Yeah.
Beat him to death with it over the head.
What?
Head and chest, beat Mickey to death with it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Then they hid the car inside of a Lotus sports car parked in the barn behind the house. So they do this. They drag him out to the barn, and out behind the barn, he's got a Lotus sports car that we talked about, which is a very expensive,
nice sports car.
Nice sports car. And they stuff Mishney into the car.
Oh, no.
So, that's where they put him.
Like in the cabin or like in the trunk?
I don't know. Somewhere.
I don't know those things have a trunk. Some of them don't, right?
Yeah, probably a very small one, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
You'd probably be better off stuffing him in the driver's seat.
They beat him to death with a jack handle. Stuck him in the car.
Yeah, I don't know if they taped his hands to the steering wheel so it looked like he was driving.
Right.
It would be, I don't know how it worked.
So he's going fast.
Yeah, just make it look really good.
Awful.
And then they fire gunshots through the windshield so he bounces all around. It looks like there's an action movie.
GTA.
Yeah, like GTA, exactly. Yeah. There you go. So that's what I'm getting at. So all this happens. They do that. Then they flee the home the next day in one of his cars, of course. Right. And they also take his wallet and 30 of his guns as well.
Wow, he has a lot of guns. What does he play, Grand Theft Auto?
I think he's like a guy he must have played Grand Theft Auto his whole life, really.
Yeah.
And this Johnson guy, the mother's boyfriend, he must have got a hold of the neighbor's Grand Theft Auto also.
Big fan.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah. Oh, and those guys in West Virginia who ate groundhog for breakfast, it wasn't that they were eating groundhog for breakfast and drinking vodka and grape drink at fucking 10 in the morning. It was they must have got a hold of Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeans and a flower shirt running amok.
That Gary Ridgway, if only Grand Theft Auto would have been out of his possession. My God, so many lives could have been saved. So they end up being arrested in Cleveland on murder warrants.
Oh, no.
They found his body, Mickey, because his brother hadn't seen him for a while, so he called the police to do a welfare check on him. Yeah. And they said there was obvious signs of violence on the body. They were seeking Dan Gordon Johnson and Mishney's wife here, Laurie. And they were thought to be driving a 1999 black Chevy Cavalier with the license reading Joe Lynn.
Get out of here.
2 people have stolen for a 99 fucking Cavalier. This must be the greatest car ever.
2 murderers have driven that vehicle.
Have killed a member of the family, driven that vehicle off. Catch him, bring the car back, kill him, somebody takes the vehicle. Almost like GTA. It's crazy. It's almost like Grand Theft Auto.
Everybody in this car, it keeps getting murdered and it gets hijacked.
It's funny that a 37-year-old man who never played video games did the exact same thing as a 15-year-old obsessed with Grand Theft Auto. It's got to be great. Exact same crime. Isn't that weird?
Wild.
Weird. A fucking blunt trauma head force in a stolen car. Strange.
Same car.
Strange. Oh, and in Grand Theft Auto, you can't stuff anyone into their own car when they're dead.
True.
That's the other thing you can't do.
Put them in anything else.
I can't believe they stole the same car. So again, not a hard car to find, obviously. They said this is now Howard Mishney, who is Mickey's brother. Yeah. He said the family was just grieving the loss of Jolynn, and now they have this to deal with.
Horrible.
This is horrible. They said the family is in shock. We all are. Mickey is perhaps, and then Thompson, the lawyer who we hate,
Jack.
said Mickey was perhaps the most selfless person I've ever met. He was giving to a fault, obviously.
Oh, God.
In other words, he let these people in who did this to him. He's too nice for his own good.
Yeah.
So they were arrested in Cleveland nearly a full day after they started searching for them. But what's a pole barn, by the way? We've gone over this before, and I can't remember. What the hell's a pole barn?
I don't know.
It sounds like where you do stripper practice or something. Yeah. It's a pole barn, everybody. Be there at 7.
I've never heard of it.
Do a whole class. That's what he's found in his pole barn. I assume it's just a barn with poles in it. Someone will send us a picture. It'll be very simple.
It might be a barn made of poles.
That's possible also.
Yeah.
So, they're arrested there. They came after police received reports that they were spotted in the Cleveland area driving the car with the fucking personalized license plate on it. So that's pretty dumb. I love this, by the way. This is a description of the area of the whole Montville Township. There are large homes with spacious yards along the road. There are farmhouses and barns with occasional horse and cow for show. Fox Meadows, a massive community complete with a golf course, is along the stretch, which is lined with huge trees and colorful flowers. It's where people move to get away from the congested traffic and noisy neighbors, said one Poe resident who works in Akron. When I tell people at work where I live, they don't even know where it is. It's just so quiet here. It really is. You come out here for that reason. But now it's just really strange. You wonder what's going on out here.
Do you?
Because now 2 people have been murdered for this car. Let's crush this car into a coin.
Is it the car? You think it's a Cavalier?
It's the car. It's like Christine, and now it's never mind this. Has anyone seen any Stephen King movies? Fuck Grand Theft Auto. Who's been reading Stephen King? Because this car is probably a problem. Right. It's telling people kill someone and then take me and go, and it wants to be out of this house. This car. I blame the car.
It's a very cavalier about murder around here.
Very cavalier about murder. They said that another resident said that the whole thing is just bizarre. I don't understand that whole situation, why he allowed that. After everything that happened before with Jolynn, after the first murder, that was the first one around here, I was afraid not to lock my doors now. So unless you're in this, no one's breaking into shit. This is very personal. It's fine. So they go to court, and when they go to court, this is fucking crazy. Okay. First, it's Johnson, the boyfriend who did the killing. He goes to court and doesn't say a word during his arraignment, obviously. Just does his thing, comes out. When being led away from the court, when the press yells shit at the guys and they just keep their head down.
Yeah.
They just keep their head down, don't say anything. They say, quote, "Did you do this?" He looked right at the reporter and said, "Yes, I did."
Uh-oh.
Yep, sure did. He said, quote, "Yes, I did," looking into television cameras. That's amazing.
Not smart.
Everyone went, oh, they started furiously writing down. No one has ever said that in the history of court reporting. That's the thing. You always say it, then you go, when asked about it, they had no comment. That's right. So you can say you asked. But it's fucking bonkers.
Him and Richard Ramirez, only ones ballsy enough to scream wild shit to the reporter.
Sure I did. Yeah. Dean Holman, who's the prosecutor, said he saw the statement and said it was stunning and said he intended to seek copies of the television tapes, obviously. He said, quote, "This has never happened in my personal experience." No one's ever done that. Yeah. It's the dumbest thing ever. He said, "We still have to prove it, though."
Right.
But still, this is a good start. He just told everyone he did it. That's a good start.
I mean, that's helpful.
That's very helpful. He ordered. He also ordered Lori to be held in jail on $2 million bond as well. Mm-hmm. So everybody's being held over here. Lori, who is represented by public assistance here, whatever, public defender, told the court she's not guilty and she's going to go to a grand jury. Now, they both face 3 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, 1 count of obstructing justice, and 1 count of tampering with evidence in conjunction with the murder. So it's a lot of shit. Yeah. The aggravated murder charge include a specification that could result in the death penalty because they stole all this shit for crack money. So
right.
That's kind of the standard of what you get.
Fucking guns.
Yeah. Guns and money, his wallet and his guns, which is both terrible. Easily transferable shit, that is. Yeah. Prosecutors said that some hair was recovered at the crime scene, and they believe that it was Lori's, and they said, we're going to find out if it's her hair. Obviously, that'll help. But she was initially unwilling to provide a sample, which got prosecutors to have to go through the whole court order process, which took longer. Right. So anyway, he decides that he's going to plea Johnson, the boyfriend, because he's already admitted it. He says he's going to plea. And, he says that this is the way he's going to do it. He wants to plea. He had already told the group of reporters, and he said, what am I hiding anymore? That's literally what he was saying. He's sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off, life in prison with no parole.
Oh, boy.
None, without. Yeah. So he's away forever. Now, since this case involved multiple counts of aggravated murder and the change of plea from not guilty to guilty had to be that had to be presided over by a 3-panel judge, a 3-judge panel that gave a 3-panel judge. He had 3 panels in front of him. He was very active.
He's a busy man.
He's trying 3 cases at the same time. What do you got? How about you? Hold on, your time's up. Yeah. Next, how about you? What do you got? Wait, are you the drunk driver or the murderer? Fuck.
It's like a game show.
Life in prison, 1 weekend in jail. But I'm just a DUI. Fuck yeah, I killed that. I fucking killed her and still only got a weekend. Shit, I messed up. God damn it. Overworked judge, that's called. That's my shitty SNL sketch. Overworked judge. So since the case had all of that, like we said, he gets handcuffed through the whole thing. They just say, yes, sir, to all the questions. It's nothing big. He would remain silent about the details of the crime, though. There, in a 6-page document read aloud, it was revealed that Johnson had been living with them, obviously. It was about the same time that Jolynn was killed, and they put that on him, too. Like, he put more strife on this family. Jolynn was just killed, and then he just killed him. And they had been contemplating a lawsuit with the video games and all that sort of shit. So anyway, he pleads life without. Okay. The brother, Howard, who is...
poor Howard.
Poor Howard. He said he remembers this is Dennis, who is Howard's brother. So this is the other brother. He said he remembers the first time he met Johnson at Jolynn's funeral. He said, little did I know that the time I was shaking the hand of the man who had hurt my father. So yeah, it's his son, Dennis. Okay. It's his son from a previous marriage. Okay. He said it's difficult to forgive, and he praised that someday Johnson will seek forgiveness from a higher power. Maybe God can help him, is what they said. He also said, we've been robbed and we are crushed. I'm sorry to say that the name of Dan Johnson will be forever cursed in our family. You don't have to be sorry for that. No. It's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I would say that's fair.
Everybody, nobody blames you for it.
Anyone kills a family member of yours, you can say they're not welcome for Thanksgiving, I would say at that point, right? You know?
In the house that you reside, you're allowed to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. They said also that his attorney said that his client had remorse for the crime from the day it happened. So, yeah, he said it's terrible, and he's scarred by it. Look at him, he's scarred.
A jack handle.
Handle. That's brutal.
That's terrible.
So the case against Lori, obviously, which is multiple aggravated murder charges and all that, the prosecutor said, we're hoping to resolve that case in a plea agreement similar to Johnson's. That would be nice. He said, if we can work that out, that's something we'd be interested in.
Sure.
So she pleads guilty to, this is amazing that they let, this is fucked up, pleads guilty to involuntary manslaughter.
What?
Tampering with evidence, 2 counts of obstructing justice, 2 counts of complicity to commit aggravated robbery, as well as a gun specification that carried with it a 1-year prison sentence.
Where's the murder charge?
It doesn't exist. It's been replaced with involuntary manslaughter. Not even voluntary. Not even I was participating in it. I didn't even know it was happening. I'm an innocent flower.
I didn't want any part of this.
Wow. That is crazy. They asked, would you like to say anything before you're sentenced? And she said, quote, he was a good man and I took his kindness for granted. Yeah, you crackhead. That's what you did.
Yeah.
So she said that she was a former waitress and she felt terrible about turning against the man who had shown her a different world where they would collect antique automobiles, indulge themselves by buying expensive lithographs and artwork, and travel more than she had ever dreamed.
And you beat him with an axe handle.
She was away. Yeah.
Jack handle. God damn it.
That's fucked up, man. After your daughter was just killed, which is unreal. He said that the culpability came from the decisions made afterwards by helping her boyfriend try to hide the crime and lying to one of Mickey's friends who came to see him. Afterwards, they said that they thought the sentence was fair and prepared her for a lengthy sentence. We'll get to it here. She, quote, Lori Mishney has to make some tough decisions. I'm not going to take the same steps she did based on how I was raised, but it was a reflection of the tools she was given. For a man who gave her so much, you would think her loyalty would have been there. I don't think so. So they said, I can't believe that. One thing, too, they said, the judge says during this that her inability to take responsibility for her role in the death was unexcusable. She said in a pre-sentencing report that she didn't do anything wrong and only pleaded guilty to be spared the possibility of the death sentence.
Stunning. So
it's
actually a very self-serving reason. There's no, there's nothing redeemable about her.
Nope, not I felt terrible.
Right.
You know, I lost my daughter.
So that I didn't die.
Just for me. The judge said the tragedy for this family must be horrific. I think you've shown no remorse.
Yes.
And the prosecutor said this was a shared venture, a joint venture. And she said, and then the judge said, quote, you, ma'am, may fuck off 15 years she gets.
Unbelievable.
So she's going to do 5 probably at that point. Hopefully more than that, because I would assume a parole board would see that she's getting off pretty light here.
Yeah.
Also, the prosecutors, she told prosecutors in an interview that Johnson told prosecutors he remembered telling Lori on the day that they killed Mickey that, quote, this is the day Mickey's going to die. So this wasn't a surprise. No. She knew what was going on. From prison.
Oh, boy.
She files a suit to try to get half of Mickey's shit.
What?
This might be
married.
The most repulsive fucking legal action
Scumbag.
I've ever heard in my life right here. This is horrible. She's seeking her share, as she says, of his surviving spouse. Now, his brother Ernest is challenging the claim by being, escaping
Not
from prison, being scared stupid, being a lot of other things here, going to camp, going to fucking a lot going on. But
catching a turtle on his nose.
In between all of that, he manages to file a suit here. And he's also part of a wrongful death suit that Mishney's daughter and 3 sons have filed against Lori and her boyfriend, Dan Johnson. The will that he signed in 1985, mind you, fucking 17 years before this, or 18 years, valued at $409,000 to his wife, specifically his antique fire truck, his weapons and personal effects, as well as all marital property. He specified his children each got 5% of his net estate, up to $25,000, and provided for his first wife and his brother in there as well. Jesus Christ. Nice guy. God. He also remembered the Cleveland Sports Car Club, the Cleveland Museum of Art, and the Crawford Auto of Aviation Museum of Cleveland in his will. An attorney that represents the brother, who is administrator of the estate, said that the law states that a person's not entitled to inherit anything if she's convicted of murder of the same fucking person she's inheriting from. Yeah. The law does not address an involuntary manslaughter charge, though.
Wow.
Only murder or voluntary. I think involuntary is the main thing there. So they said similar cases in common law should prevent her from collecting. They'd never get shit from him. So that's good.
Good.
Now, 2013. Remember our buddy Dustin?
Right.
Okay, well, he's in a maximum security Toledo institution at this point. Obviously a convicted murderer, and about 10 years till he's ready to possibly even get probation or parole at this point. Well, instead, he ends up being a suspect in a murder of a fellow convict here named Christopher Trent, who had told his mother that he was targeted for assassination by a prison gang, spent 8 days in the hospital burn unit after he was doused with scalding water and stabbed by Dustin. Yeah, by Dustin.
He boiled him and then stabbed him?
Yes, threw boiling water on him and then stabbed him when he fucking...
Why does he have access to that?
Well, if you can, these guys they'll get like a hot plate going in their room and they can boil up water. And that happens all the time. That's like how a lot of times how like someone who isn't that strong and feels like they're going to get attacked soon, they'll boil up some water to have it ready. So when someone comes in their cell, they're ready to fucking throw it in their face. That's a big time prison thing. If they can get a heating element to make that happen, they'll fucking do it.
I did not know that.
Oh, that's a big weapon in prison, man. Yeah. Boiling water.
Boy.
Fucking brutal. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So he's in there. He attacks him. The guy survived. The prison officials knew that Dustin is now an avowed member of the Aryan Nation gang as well. He's super proud.
Yeah.
He tells it. He was heiling Hitler when he was 15, 16. Now he's really into it here. He was a suspect in the assault, yet they placed him in a cell with another inmate still. They thought that he boiled and stabbed a man, and rather than separate him, they went, I'm sure he'll get along better with the next guy, right?
Oh, my.
So he is placed in an inmate with a Mexican national. He's placed in a cell with a Mexican national, which is going to go great.
An Aryan Brotherhood. Oh, boy.
It's very good. Guy's also a convicted child rapist.
Oh, perfect. He's got justification twice.
Named Arturo Lopez. On March 17th, the guards found Lopez dead in his cell, strangled with a piece of rope, and with the word Chomo carved in his back.
Of course.
Child molester. That's for that, if you don't know. Lynch, who again reiterated his avowed disciple nature of Hitler, says he loves Hitler still. They held him in isolation now, so, they're going to check him out there. Sentencing comes around here. A judge sentences him for this. He goes in, pleads no contest to strangling the guy. He's like, I fucking did it. I don't care. The guy, by the way, Lopez, was 43 years old, was behind bars on a rape conviction from 2005, and was scheduled for and was ready to be released. He was going to be released within a year. And Lynch is 26 at this point.
This guy's getting out of prison in a year, and they put him in jail. They put him in a cell with that guy?
With that guy.
Oh, my God.
It's almost like they wanted him to. Yeah. This seems like we don't like that guy. He's a child molester. Let's put him in with this fucking guy, which that's not. I don't like fucking vigilante justice in general, but
I'm not going to defend the guy, but let's trust the system a little.
That's exactly the right way to put it. So, he pleads no contest, like I said, and they said that the records show the violence at the prison rose after the state started doubling up inmates in the same cell to deal with overcrowding. Records show violence at the prison rose right then. Yeah. Gee, it's really weird. When he's by himself, he doesn't kill anybody, but when I put somebody with him, he stabs him in the face. It's a strange fucking thing, isn't it? It's weird. Strange. That's as funny of a statement as the guy who said, I'm stunned there isn't as many murders due to Grand Theft Auto. I'm surprised there's not more. Well, you just made our case for us, dumb shit.
You can't put violent people with violent people.
Jesus Christ, man. The changes were budgetary and that sort of measure. So the judge sentences him for this. Where is this here? He is, you, sir, may fuck off. Have another life sentence. Why not?
Yeah.
There you go. Life this time without parole.
You bet.
So,
if you were going to get out.
I don't like that this happened, but I do like that at least the guy who had to die so this guy never gets out of prison was a bad guy that we don't want around. Now,
maybe he's Batman.
Kill him. Maybe Arturo Lopez, the child molester.
Yeah.
He's Batman. He didn't really die. He then got up and
no, he's Batman, and he
just killed him.
He put Dustin the guy in prison forever.
He did it. Yay! So either way, Dustin Lynch is in prison forever.
Yeah,
Johnson's in prison forever. Mm-hmm. What's her name? Lori's got to be out by now.
She should be. Yeah.
She's definitely, unless she got in trouble in prison. Even if she did every fucking minute of it, she's out by now. That's crazy, man. And
what on the fuck?
Dustin's never getting out, obviously. Now, Jo Lynn, her grave here, she's buried in Cleveland. And she has a nice stone here with like an angel on it. It's very nice. It's cute. Like one you get for your daughter. That's sad as shit to say.
Yeah.
The other things I found here are the True Crime Auction House. You can get a Dustin Lynch signed police report.
Gross.
Yeah, that has like his fucking mailing address on it. And it's ridiculous. It's the shit with Jack Thompson, I think, that communication. $40 for that, by the way. Then serialkillersinc.net, you can get a handwritten letter and envelope here. This is like it's like a nice letter to somebody, like a correspondence.
No bloody thumbprint?
No bloody thumbprint, any of this shit. What I can see there. Do I have a TV? Yes. Like somebody had asked him questions about shit. Do I have this? I have this many channels, my favorite channel, blah, blah,
little
blah,
interview.
All this shit. $25 for that.
Wow, that's too
If you want
too
his
much.
handwritten. I don't want anything of this asshole's. Nothing. He's a fucking asshole. I don't like him.
I don't even want the country albums of the guy that shares his name.
No. That's the fucked up part, too, because when you look him up, it comes up Dustin Lynch wife, Dustin Lynch music. When I saw that, I'm like, did somebody marry him in prison? And is he making like Charles Manson prison music? What the fuck is happening?
Kinda.
I was like, holy shit. So I clicked on it and I'm like, I'll be a motherfucker. This guy.
This poor bastard.
Is not him at all.
Yeah.
This is terrible. He's like, God damn it. I picked that stage name too early.
Shares a name with a piece of shit.
I peaked too early, God damn it. It's crazy. So everybody, that is Montville Township, Ohio. And hope you enjoyed that show. Now, we have to explain something quickly for you right here. Now, you might see as you scroll down your thing, you'll see like you can subscribe to Wondery Plus thing if you're on Apple Podcasts and you see that. And people are thinking, oh, my God, if I don't subscribe to that, then I'm not going to get episodes. No. You, I want to reiterate this, you do not have to pay shit for anything.
Right.
Small Town Murder, other than Patreon episodes, which is a totally different thing, is not and will never be behind a paywall. We're not doing that. That's not what it is. That is strictly if you would like regular episodes, just the weekly regular Thursday, Wednesday night episode. If you would like that, 1 week early.
That's it.
That's all it is. If you don't care and you like, you just listen as it is. And either way, it's an episode every week, but this would be a week early. If you just want to keep it your regular pace, not be ahead for a week, don't have to buy a goddamn thing. Listen how you've been listening. It's wonderful. We don't care either way. We don't make any more money if you subscribe to Wondery Plus. None of that shit. We don't care if you fucking subscribe to it or not.
It's your
really
choice.
Don't.
Right.
If it's something you want, if you want to get the episodes a week early, maybe they have other shows you like, then go for it. If not, don't worry about it. Listen to this shit and that's great. We're happy. We don't care.
And keep in mind that the reason for doing this was just because it was part of the contract, but you don't have to do that. And James went out of his fucking way, worked so hard to put out 2 episodes in 1 week to make sure that there was no lapse, to make sure that you get, if you stick with the free stuff, every goddamn week there will still be a show.
Shit, we even put an extra one out.
That's right.
We even put
You're
the short one out. Yeah, we're throwing down for you.
We want to make sure that you guys get what you want because you gave this to us, which was what we want. And we're there.
Thank you.
And you did it, and we're giving back to you. So calm it the fuck down with the anger and hatred and confusion. It's not that hard. It'll show up. It's right there for you. Don't worry about it.
People are getting mad at fucking each other over it. Like, and it's like, hey, everybody calm down. You don't have to do jack shit. It's not that complicated. And I get that if you don't know from the outside, it looks complicated.
It looks weird.
Understandable, but it's not that complicated.
We tried our best to keep it from being that.
Yeah, and we're not going to put shit behind a paywall. That's not what we're doing at all. It's just for that option there.
Yeah. I didn't know that it was going to pop up and say, subscribe. Don't. Jesus, God. Yeah. I didn't know it was going to be that way.
You don't have to be mad at them either. Trust us. These people are way nicer to us than anybody has ever fucking been. Yes. They actually treat us like we matter and like we mean something rather than an afterthought that they couldn't give a fuck about. Right. So it's actually really nice to be treated decently for once. and we like it. Although mid-roll Stitcher was okay to us, but it was still
but it was
we still felt very much
ago. There was a couple of contracts that hurt.
There's a couple that were bad. That
when you got to chase people down for money, and then when people don't want to do anything for you,
just want you to fucking sit there and rot. So either way, thank you for always being supportive and making this whole thing possible.
Right.
And won't change a thing if you don't want it to change.
No.
So do that and hang out with us. Keep doing that. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
What's there, James?
Oh, my God. Tickets to live shows, Jimmy. Yeah. Tickets to all sorts of live shows, especially May the 5th virtual live show. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world, anywhere where you have Wi-Fi, God damn it, you can sit there and watch us, and we're going to put on a live show. Just instead of it being at a theater where we're all there, we'll be in a room, you'll be in your rooms, and we'll all come together that way.
Right.
They're really a lot of fun. Go in any of the groups on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, all that shit, and ask people. They're fucking good and they're well worth it.
Cinco de Mayo, the faux Independence Day. It's not even real. Tacos, tostadas, and tequila. Let's get after it.
That's it. Let's do it. Hang out with us. That is, you can do that. Shutupandgivememurder.com or momenthouse.com / what is it, Small Town Murder?
That should be it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Either one, you can do that. Get your tickets there right now. And also tickets to live shows throughout the year. There are still tickets left. Any of these sold out shows, though, too, they were rescheduled for 2 years, so people have the option to return tickets. So if it's a sold out show, keep checking back. You might see some tickets pop up here and there. It does happen.
If you're parts of Facebook groups or whatever that have to do with this show, people put tickets in there if they can't make it. They don't know if they can make it or not, and then sometimes things come up. Life happens.
Shit happens. Yeah, especially if you bought tickets 2 years ago. Right. Some of these people are like, I don't live in that state anymore, so I'd love to go, but I live 1,000 miles away now, so I'd like to sell these tickets. So you can do that, and they're usually nice. Nobody tries to rip each other off, or it's usually face value. It's good shit.
Great people.
Check that out and do all your stuff there. Also, social media, follow us on there, at Murder Small on Twitter, at SmallTownPod on Facebook, at SmallTownMurder on Instagram. Check us out all over there. Also, damn it, Patreon. My God.
Oh boy. Yeah.
My God, do you need Patreon? If you don't have it, you really do need it. That's one thing that we will try to sell because we think it's fucking worth it.
We do.
God damn it, we think it's worth it. And this week, we're really trying to make it worth it. We have a couple of wild episodes. Number one, we are going to have, and by the way, $5 or above gets you access to crime and sports bonus episodes, small town murder bonus episodes. Anything bonus we put out, you're going to get. For crime and sports, which you'll get, we're going to talk about the secret life of Tiger Woods.
Oh, boy.
Which is all of his ladies and what would make his wife so angry to cause a lovely Swedish model to go, a lovely Swedish swimsuit model, no less, to go batshit on his SUV with a bat and or with a golf club, causing damage and other shit. It's really funny. We'll check that out.
All
it's
the
so
information that was forced upon us all.
Except with more gross details. So it's a lot of fun. And then for Small Town Murders, we're going to go to a favorite. It is the prisoner dating game, all violent felon edition, of course, where we have so much fun. I line up 4 bachelors and 4 bachelorettes. All have been convicted of horrible violent crimes, some much worse than others, let's just say. And Jimmy has to pick one of each based solely on their own pitch from their dating site there. Nothing else, no other information.
Going with my gut.
Going with his gut. Once he picks, then he's going to get to see what they look like and, more importantly, what the fuck they've done to end up where they are.
Fantastic.
And when they're getting out. Is Jimmy going to have to wait 20 years? Or maybe they'll be out next spring and he can start to make plans. You never know.
Yeah.
Either way, we're going to find some felonious love for Jimmy. Wonderful with our love, with our prisoner dating game episode. That is patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of that. Anybody $5 or above gets access to everything, like we said. And you're going to get a shout out, which is going to happen in just a moment here. And if you just want the shout out and excellent karma, you can do that over at PayPal as well using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. Oh, that's the other thing. Reiterate, if you have any cases, anything you'd like us to take a look at, you can send those to research@shutupandgivememurder.com. And we will take a look at all of them. And if we find one that's great, we'll use it. That's how it works here. That said, God damn it, because we had to take last week off from them. I hate that. Hit me with the names of the people who have been so wonderful to us, supported our show, and not driven us crazy this week. Jimmy, who the hell are they? Hit me with them now.
This week's executive producers are Premeditated Spontaneity. Well, not sure what that is, but it's a wonderful person is who it is.
But thank you.
Right.
Great.
Jordan Bennett and Simon Shedd, who obviously are fantastic.
Definitely.
Thank you guys
Came
so
from
much
Canada to see us, too, a couple weeks ago. Thank you.
Aiden, the wheel repairman, and Matthew Martinez. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. It's fucking... Truly, thank you. Other producers this week are Isaac Beddix. Happy birthday, Isaac. Robert Scheibel, Shabley. He quit his job, and it's an awful job, and he's very happy about it. Congrats, Robert.
Good for you.
Daniel Tebow found a prepaid Visa card and donated it, which is pretty hilarious. Awesome. Marthy Taljard, I think. Carl Kirshner. Hating inflation and the struggle to keep groundhog on the table. It's very difficult these days.
Yeah. Price of groundhog keeps going up.
It's ridiculous.
Can't stop
the good Rabbi Shmulovich and the Misses, Peyton Meadows, Ernie Rothstein, the Grand Wizard of Wrestling, Louis Skolnick and the Tri-Lambs, Ash Drover.
Revenge of the Nerds, very nice.
Mickey Dora's Oscar, Happy Hour made it home to Marrero, Louisiana. Monster, Don't Stab People. We live in Wyoming, and these assholes will give me a hillbilly accent. Love mom. Whoever Monster is, stay on the right side.
Thank you.
Raya Brandenburg, Lisa Tucker, Stacy Nielsen, Cody Leversey, Richard Hooker, Susanna Platt, Janice Hill. Happy birthday, Roland, the best supervisor ever. Frank, the South African bird washer. Tony from Scotland, Carrie Soper Dyer, Mark Wismer, Joey Pepperoni Nips is back.
Hey!
Kimberly Hayes, Michael Seiler, Samantha Reese, I think, Jess Wood, Sydney Jenkins, Christina Petty, Randy Giggs, Carrie Panagal, Jeff with no last name, Nick Keir, Alith A, Sergio Varela, Alyssa Carey, Stephen Stankhoff, oh boy, Kat Stewart, Nate Berend, Monica Milstead, Val Chagoya, Kat Edgen, Terrence Eason, Tristan Lindquist, James with no last name, Marcus Covington, Mary Bolton Cockrell, Austin Magby, Viola Dean, Jane Yerges, Ari with no last name, Callie Ander, Dave Nikos, Nikki with no last name, Scott McClellan, Jason Morey, Julian with no last name, Alexandra Wilson, Jackie Benton, Basra with no last name, Lauren Woodhouse, Dean with no last name, Angela Reed, Chelsea Malloy, Naomi Albright, Melissa Marachik, Justin Donald Maxey, Marcia Ingram, Angela Marie Myers, Aaron Lewis, Jason Stegmeyer, Josh Stegmeyer, not Jason. Jesus.
Wow, neither name.
Amanda with no last name, Steve Hall, Eugenia, Randall, Mindy Ann, and Robert Kenny. Elaine Schultz, Hunter Dudley. Oh, that's Hunter. Congrats, Hunter. He's almost a year sober. Hang in there, Hunter.
Congrats.
Keep going, buddy. Vanessa Berg, Justin Brown, Donovan Mahon, Shannon Hicks, Nick Willard, and Becky Bell, Caitlin Logan, Caitlin Eastwood. Yeah, it's just two different spellings of Caitlin. Adam Henningsen, Candace Spackman, Adam Kipp, Rhiannon Dewar, Taylor Seaton, Renee Desjarnis. I don't know. William Jenkins, Daniel Griffith, Durferick, whatever. Pernell Oddish, Dominika Gerzenschak, April Thuralt, Kyle Colby, Carrie Waitala, Catherine Nicole, Lane Bolig, Renee Falkenberg, Mayunka Perrin, Bruce Preston, Jesse Sexton, Caitlin Nur, Michael Wellman, Guadalupe Calderon, Nick Pirano, Ava Atkinson, Thomas Lamb, Chef with no last name, Megan Jewett, Kelsey Flora, Kristen Summers, Charla Brand, Francis Murray, Mark Krask, Haley Sharp, Luke Perkins, Rachel Coe, Justin Nance, Daria with no last name, Matthew Weisenberger, Raw Tooth with no last name, Hannah Ennis, Ethan Ibido, Alex V, Rob Anderson, Linda Reed, RDP, that's BDM. What? Clint.
That's way different, Jimmy.
It really is. Jessica
a lot
with
different.
Names. Marin
It's
Devan.
like TNT and fucking...
Sarah Reynolds, JG, Anna Wolf, Kale Davis, Madison Thayer, Chris Tapscott, Colton Robbins, Paula Wang, Mayamundad, Mamuna Dayode.
Yeah. Thank you.
Joanna Rybolt, Avery Diane, Sandy Atkins, Rebecca Felix, Camellia with no last name, Jennifer Maynard, Jamie with no last name, Jay McIver, Jacob McMillan, Arian Leilani, Zamira Tenney, Sequelize It, Jeff Jackson, Candace Wick, Cynthia Robinson, Alice in Cyberland, Greg Prowks, Jason Robb, Mandy with no last name, Robert with no last name, Scott Brown, Tony Gilkey, Gabriel Rose, Amy Amini Sheikh, Tara Fuller, Dave in Syracuse, Tatiana Farley, Amy Dorch, Tattoo Shoe, Quinn Kelly, Carmen with no last name, Eileen Francis, Dave and Ashley Brandenburg, maybe Bradenburg, Ali Fagerskog, Sarah Rep, Gilberto Rodriguez, Riezig 77, Angie Sanders, Isaiah Rittenberg, Kelsey Jorgensen, Maria with no last, Maria Smith, Melissa Januso, Gabriel Ricard, Phil Mayanis. Are you proud of yourself, you son of a bitch? Francis Luddy, Nicole McNeil.
You give Jimmy a couple drinks, he'll say that anyway. You don't have to fucking trick him.
Haley Davinson, Bob Frick, Carrie Gwynn, Hannah Woodhouse, Captain Shipwreck 503, Tracy Kaltenbaugh, Ron with no last name, Squish, The Casual Mango, Marshall Lemon, Christy Froling, Tammy Pileski, Diana Davis, Dave Allen, Paige Shanahan, Isadora, Takesha West, Dale O'Hara, Zoe with no last name, Alan Ibarra, Dina Scalici.
Hey, Scalici.
Clark Reed, Tyler White, Kelly Bobakowski, Bobakowitz.
Those are really different. Babakowitz or Babakowski? Which one?
Justin
Polish or
McClure,
Russian?
Cameron
Which are you?
Carl Carpenter, Mahoney Then, Brandon Teschke, Adam Vanchel, WWF President Jack Tunney,
yes, Jack Tunney.
Haley Swanson, Savannah Diaz, Porsche Pernal, Cody Kuhn, Taryn Nice, Jennifer Carrington, Lisa Bryant, Lauren Burke, Harold Holman, Tiffany Brazelton, Team Rocket, Carrie Ann with no last name, Hakeem H., Alicia Bruce, AJ Walker, Cannon Birch, Sarah Taylor, and every one of our last patrons. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, from the bottom of our hearts.
It's unbelievable.
We cannot explain how thankful we are to you. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the bonus content.
Yeah.
And just know that it's a very big car and you're all in it with us. So thank you. We really do appreciate it.
It's a bus.
It's a bus.
Yeah.
It's a goddamn huge bus. It absolutely is.
Fucking train off the tracks is what it is.
It's a big steamer bus, as we were talking about this. The whole town. Just a steamer parade, goddamn it. Disgusting. You want to find us on social media, you know where to find us.
Yeah.
Look at it's all there.
You know
God damn it. Go to the site, shutupandgivememurder.com. You can find us directly from there. Mm-hmm. Don't you worry about it. And we'll keep coming back. Don't you worry about that either. Remember, Small Town Express on Fridays.
See you there.
Small Town Murder every Wednesday, and we'll keep coming back. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.